Peace and salute, everybody. What's good? Um, did the link show up? It's telling me it's having trouble connecting. But anyway, what's good with everybody on this Sunday? Sunday. I would play music, but I'm sick and tired of them hitting me with copyright strikes. So I don't do that. I'm gonna cut back on that. So what do people think about more division in the so-called community? I woke up to yesterday another day of, I mean, everyone's entitled to feel the way they feel. But as far as the disrespect part, I don't agree with that. But like I said, people are who they are. Realist McCoy, peace, Kimba, AI. Real McCoy, you were dropping some gems yesterday, man, on Sir Drops shit. Chris, good. Orphan Annie, Dean, Triple OG. Rebecca Room. Rebecca. Damn, what the hell?
Peace, everybody.
Earthquake.
What? Did you hear my end?
Yeah.
I was moving my.
Yeah, the real McCoy was dropping some gems, especially when you said, bro, peace, Candy. When you said America was built on lies and indoctrination. I think that's how you said it. You said lies. Yeah, indoctrination. That's why for this video I put the picture I put, because I've been looking into the island of California, because it reminds me of the North Pole on a lot of these maps. If you look into the 1400s maps, right when you get about the 1600s, the North Pole disappears. No more North Pole. Antarctica turns into a little island at the bottom of the ball, and maps are no longer round like a plate. They're turning into these globes. Indoctrination fully goes in full swing. California's not an island no more, but I think that's because of cataclysmic events or weapons that were used. If you look at California, the Queen, I forgot her name. I think her name was Bobby. Saying that right? Got a lot of pictures of her.
Your volume's going out. Wait, Charles, your volume's going out a little. You're going slowly back into the abyss.
Fuck, man.
Yeah, just letting you know. You can hear you, but you're slowly drowning out like you're underwater. Try talking again. Let's see. Mic check 1, 2. Okay.
How about now?
Okay, that's better. Much better.
But like I was saying, Connecticut, peace, Deion Sandals, Archbishop Richard. I'll just call you Archbishop. Archbishop Richard, yeah. The volume's choppy. Why is this always happening? Some days it's good and the other days it's crap.
Right now it's fine. They said that before you fixed it. You're fine right now. If it goes out
now?
again,
Am I still good?
I'll let you out.
But if you look into the desert, and I was talking about this before, the deserts, you could tell there was some type of cataclysmic war, man, with atomic weapons. And the island of California, either they dammed that water up and there's no more island, because I think that's what most of that desert was water there. I mean, even the Great Lakes look different. And there's another huge lake above Montana. I mean, the whole landmass has changed. If you look at the older maps. But yeah, California definitely had so-called black people, and the queen is leading that tribe. And they don't talk about that. And I think that's where a lot of these Crips and Bloods root back to. I mean, their Crip dance is just like the Indian dances. And there's evidence of the Indians being changed to Negro or black. And even some so-called black people were registered as white people. But we all know that's a class they registered people in.
And that helps bring the racism in, Charles, you know? If you don't have people
I question
knowing
that too.
about color, yeah. If you don't, that's what I'm thinking. That's what popped in my head. If you're not letting people in on the truth of, you know, the color of people, that helps the racism thing, you know? This way, you know, one race will feel superior over another.
Hmm.
Okay, can I say
Yeah,
what's
I felt like an idiot.
you feel like
I just want to say real quick, I feel like an idiot. My grandpa's trying to tell me that we were slaves too, coming on boats. But I thought he was losing his mind, but he wasn't. He was telling me the truth in school was the one indoctrinating me. Go ahead, Grandma.
Okay, I was just gonna say, yeah, this is my observation. Let's just keep talking about like the stuff you're bringing up. I would not worry about the whole unity thing on Booby Tubby Land. I'm sorry, I have to call it that now. I do. Okay. I wouldn't worry about the drama because the drama people attract to the drama people. And we don't want drama. We just won't
Sure.
have drama, you know, but we can't control what other people are doing. That's all I wanted to say, you know. So we'll drop that. Let's drop that and let's get to information and learn and stuff. Yeah. You know, because,
That's what my whole point was going to be.
yeah,
That
exactly.
you can't
We can't
control
help
what
that.
people do.
Exactly.
I learned that through experience. That unity, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen organically. You can't sit there and talk to anyone, and
Can't make it.
even if they have ideologies, you can't. There's really not much you can say, man. People are born with that shit, and they're gonna have to learn on their own to break from it.
You have
I
to
know a
be,
lot of people that are just
yeah.
doused in ideologies,
You
and
have
I've
to be,
talked to them till they're blue in the face, and they don't care.
you have to
Go ahead, Kimball.
you have to be sorry, you have to be open up here, you know, open. This is what I learned, Charles. I learned a while ago because I was over here like, I will get along. Oh, I was getting really, it was like driving me bonkers. Then I finally realized I'm going to start saying to people from now on, so I stop wasting my energy and their energy. And there's this whole battle of, you know, I'm crazy, they're right, whatever. And then it drives me crazy in the end and not them. I realized now I'm just like, if someone wants to know or talk about something, my first line is, are you open to receive? My only line,
Huh.
are you open to
Yeah,
receive? This way, okay, you say yes, then I will spill my ideas out. If you're like no, and most people, if you're not really open and you could see and you say that statement to them, they'll be like, am I open to receive? Woo! They have no idea what it means. That's when you know that's definitely gonna be wasted energy, okay? Because they're not even opening their mind up to you. That was statement right there. Okay. And they're, huh? But then the ones that are like, yes, please share with me. Then if you share with them, then you know they've already grasped that concept. Now they're at least listening to you, you know? You're not wasting your breath and your energy. So that's my famous line. Are you open to receive? Yeah, because then you can read their energy better. You know? Hey,
you're
Krista.
chopping up now. Kimball. I don't know who it is. You were chopping up a little bit.
Was I? Oh.
I don't know. it's me or you. Let me move. I had to rig my phone, man. The other day I broke the charger piece. You know, the piece that it plugs into on the phone. So I had to get a battery from my old phone and tape it. I had to like rig it so it would work on this phone. It's like couldn't charge my other battery, so I had to get a smaller battery, rig it. I mean, I can't even carry my phone no more because I had to rig it just so this would work. I was having problems yesterday with it, but whatever. You can only slow me down for a little while. You can never stop, Chuck.
Yeah, I know. I was left on the stream with Voynich and Mark yesterday. Thank you. No, I was kidding.
Can't breathe.
Hey, Crystals.
What's up, Chris? The tie-dye picture. Peace, Mark. 10 minutes late. Ain't so bad. Thanks, Dean, for saying respect to my grandfather. Yeah, I miss my grandfather.
Oh.
When you lose family in life, it becomes very lonely in life, especially
Yes,
at a young age. So I feel for all people that lose their family at 10 years old and up, man. I mean,
yeah.
even as a child, younger than that, but like my mom lost, my grandma died when my mom was 10, and it broke my mother, you know? That's where her manic depression came from. Her whole life, she couldn't break it, you know? She couldn't shake away from it. And I went down that road for a little while. I was lucky enough to shake it. What's up, Chris? Addiction, depression. People don't really talk about that on YouTube. Those are serious topics.
Exactly. A lot of people don't want to talk about their real feelings.
Yeah.
No, not many people are open with their real feelings. People don't want to show their real feelings. Some of us don't
Like
mind.
addiction.
Hey, Mike,
It's
check.
people
Hello?
that sell drugs.
Oh, yeah.
You're good.
We hear you. You're good, buddy.
You guys can still hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Yeah, man, let's get some people up here, bro. I know we got like 10 people in the chat or something. It'd be real cool if we get some medium to big panel going. I have a good feeling about this stream, Charles.
Yeah.
Sunday,
Yeah.
there's always good streams on Sunday, is what I'm noticing, at least in my opinion.
On Sunday. Huh.
Like Max Vision.
Let's talk about.
Max Vision tends to go live.
Yeah. He has a good panel and a good good videos too, Max Vision.
Yes.
Yeah, you, Max Vision, London Man, you know, like you guys kind of represent like a subsection of YouTube, these YouTube communities where
Sir Drop.
yeah, I find that there's some pretty authentic information being exchanged here on these panels.
Yes.
Sir Drop and
like yo, Sir Drop, like that, yeah, like he was on London Man's the other day, and that was Friday. London Man had with Tommy. That was another good one, man. Very interesting conversations.
Yeah.
I was listening to most of it as I was going about my day doing stuff.
Man, I can't even think today, man. Holy shit.
What's the topic? It's Mic Drop Sunday, as you named it. What were you guys talking about?
I was getting into like addiction or whatever, man. It's open mic too. I mean, not open mic, open topics.
Well, yeah, I guess that would make sense. Yep, open mic. If it's Mic Drop Sunday, then it must be an open mic. There's going to be mic drops.
Yeah.
like it kills me. I was watching a video, and these people who sell drugs always down the drug addict, right? But they don't look at themselves as having addiction to money, and also poisoning the community
Greed,
by doing
power, and greed. Been there, done that. Power and
it.
greed. Drug.
Yeah,
Sell drugs. It comes to
they
power and
talk
greed.
shit. They talk shit about the drug addicts, but you're
Yeah.
the one poisoning the community for them to be like that. It's crazy. Addiction's not just drugs either. It could be food, money, working out. It could be many things you could go overboard with. Gluttony.
There's
I got the right word, gluttony.
Gluttony.
Peace,
Yeah.
Bex.
Peace. Nice to see you all. Happy Sunday. It's a very sunny day here on the West Coast. Hailing from ye old California Island, I would say right here. Chuck, you were mentioned, I don't mean to redirect back to something you were talking about before, but if you look at the maps of Vancouver Island, it looks exactly the same shape as old California Island.
Wow. And you notice too on the new maps, you know Mexico? That piece that I think they call it 1,000 islands near there on some of these old maps. It also looks like California, that bottom part where Mexico is. I thought they mistaken California for that part of Mexico. But Mexico also used to go all the way up to California, which is crazy.
Well, and right
Probably
into right into the late 50s, they were still calling it Spanish territory, which might be, the misnomer, considering they came from the east to the west, right? Which would have pushed people into, if people were running from the eastern side, they would have been being pushed into the western territories. And that's where you may have discovered, again, just more sort of Spanish Asian people. But yeah, it was like, this area of this land wasn't even until the late 50s that they started rearranging. The 50s and 60s was when they did their scoop in these lands, right? So,
Magellan sailed a lot of South America and up near the islands, up near Puerto Rico and Cuba and all that. And they talk about golden cities. Now, I don't know if they meant actual gold, but it's a possibility. But I know there was San Francisco the city had golden buildings. They were bricks that were gold, and they had free energy, and they had all the, they talked about it, and that's why I had my first picture for the video was a 1749 sketch of. You seen the spotlights on it. They had electricity, 1749 in the sketching I got. And these sketches people drew. And then I put the Queen of California Island for the picture. But then people will argue with me and say, well, Chuck, those are sketches, man. Yeah, but back then, people would sit down and draw stuff. They didn't, as far as I know, they didn't have cameras. And I could take 1,700 sketches and align them with buildings that still exist today. So then what people argue about. So
I didn't know Mexico went up that way up to California, but I never knew that. See, there's a lot of stuff I didn't know.
And I would say if you look at just the names of all the way up, right up into Washington, you have Port Angeles, right? And it's on the Juan de Fuca Strait, and then, they've got, there's a lot more, I can't think of it right now, but there's a lot more Spanish named things right up into.
Is it Francisco French? No, that's Spanish. No,
well, even
I don't know. But Los Angeles. Spanish.
Yeah, Los Angeles is and San Francisco is Spanish. Los Angeles, I speak Spanish. I learned it in Mexico though when I was like 18. I went on Rotary Exchange.
You speak Mexican?
I speak Mexican Spanish. Yeah, Mexican Spanish.
Okay. Yeah, I hear it. I already hear the roll.
There's Dominican, there's Cuban, there's Venezuelan, there's Mexican. They're similar, but they're different. Peace, Linda, man. Yeah. I thought all Spanish was the same, but I had friends that were Mexican, and they would communicate with Puerto Rican people. Um, but some stuff was different, but they could still communicate because it's similar. Just
That's
like
why.
German, Polish,
That's
is
why if you
similar.
were to ever,
Go ahead.
you know, resort to one Latino under a specific name and then the wrong one, they would get upset. They would, you notice that? They
Hell
would get
yeah.
upset.
Especially
You thought they were
if
Puerto
they're
Rican, they were
Dominican.
Cuban or Colombian. They'd be like, no, not.
If you call them Puerto Rican or Dominican, the old school ones would get mad for some reason. I don't
Yeah.
know. Piso Ama. I don't know why. So Ama's from South America. She might know why.
Well, if you take pride in your
A lot of
heritage,
Dominicans are dark.
well,
Yeah. But if I take
they're
pride in my
different.
heritage, I'm called racist. You know?
Oh yeah,
If
yeah.
I noticed that through the years, like, and I'm not, I don't take pride in my heritage, really. I just take pride in me being me. But why do I need a label on anything? But I've seen white people take pride in being white and stuff, and they weren't racist because, you know, they're still indoctrinated with the white thing, and they would be called racist. And I'm like, damn, you can't even proud to be white. That's just the construct of the whole race thing. I guess it is being racist, right? If you take the color white, you know, it's part of the
They
race.
start using
The race of
colors.
what? Yeah,
When
it's
you
the race to ignorance.
Yeah, because when you start seeing people with your heart and you start seeing the heart and soul, the color doesn't matter at all. It doesn't matter. So that's just a division tactic. We know that
Race,
already.
politics, none of that
Politics.
shit matters. We've been indoctrinated or molded to worship these labels. And that's in America, man. We're a big project, big test tube. Like I said, people love America, and I love the people. But the construct was designed to do exactly what it's doing, and until we clean house and get the right people in there, we're fucked. Because it ain't getting no better.
Okay, Chucky, let me ask you this. Can I ask you this? Do you already think without them, like putting it on the mainstream news or wherever for the masses to see it, for the majority of people to see it, do you already think or feel way deep, I hate to say it like this, way deep down inside that is already happening anyways, like as we speak, like it's already been going on, it's already breaking apart? Hence all the weird stories they keep throwing us and the distractions. Don't you think they're already falling apart and scrambling? Like, oh my God, they're becoming aware. Do you believe that's already going on? Like within you,
Yeah,
personally?
they're falling apart, but you don't
Okay.
think they got a plan to? You don't think they have a plan to? If they start falling apart, you don't think they got a plan for that? These people have a plan for everything. They look at it from every angle. They're ready for whatever. They know if they start falling apart, all they got to do is, whoops, we're done.
Okay, now let me ask you this
It's like
question.
a computer.
Yeah.
They'll hit Apple, Alt, Control, Delete, and it'll reset everything.
Okay. Now that that's kind of comical. I'm sorry, my eyes, you say it, because like a lot of us have our nervous systems breaking down. So I'm over here like, that would be awkwardly weird, right? If you could just go doop, right? When you're off, these ones are off, but these ones get, run around and do that. Okay, let me ask you this question then, okay? Do you feel enough people are starting to become aware already right now? Are you starting to realize, you not see it? Okay, you're seeing it run around. Okay. So with those two questions answered, do you have faith in the fact that no matter what happens, no matter what they want to throw at us, we're going to have enough people that, it may not just work. It may not go through on their end. See, that's how I feel. I don't feel it's going to go through on their end. I just don't. I don't.
Honestly, I feel like people are what do you want to call it, waking up, or their eyes are opening, or they're realizing, but not enough. And as far as us gaining back control,
Not enough.
no, I don't think so.
That's okay.
I don't think it's about regaining control necessarily, but just allowing this flushing out process maybe to happen at a accelerated degree. So it's just going to be the Wei Wu way flowing like Qigong with what's going on. It's like if we keep that knowledge of the cycles and how things repeat itself and things are secular, well, yes, it's like we are bound to a certain amount of coding, if you want to put it that way, of how reality works, but that doesn't mean that everything is engraved strictly and like no matter what it's gonna go this one way because history repeats itself and everything is gonna collapse. Like like everything is gonna collapse, but like how fast and in which manner and like how much damage negation is there going to be, because ultimately it's like reality is a complex thing that's multifaceted, so how it plays out I think is going to be the exact same way, and we have to just remember that there's a lot of variables in play, and if we want to compare this or parallel it to like a movie or like a theater or play or story of humanity in this realm, well, let's just not forget that plot twists exist in stories, and I yield. Plot twists.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I think it's important to remember that, well, at least by the looks of it, this may be like a full-on two-sided coin here, right? Like where some people are waking up, but they're waking up to their calling, which is at the other end of the spectrum.
Oh, yes, Bex. Everyone has their own level. Yeah, their own level.
And even the evil, let's just say pure evil, like if we want to call, one of the tools they're using is whatever woke movement that, people ascribe to, or that we've watched them try to divide us over. And it's still hard to get some of that programming out. It's still a matter of thinking that, we look at some of those people and we think, oh, you're totally brainwashed. They look at us and they're like, you're freaking crazy. And when in fact, maybe there's two types of waking, some are waking and some are woking, and that's just their path. And we want, it's like when I asked a Mormon comedian friend, about his 3-tiered heaven they teach in Mormonism. There's a terrestrial, celestial, and ethereal heaven. And in the Mormon faith, like only the Mormons go to ethereal heaven, of course, right? So I said, well, why you got classist heaven system, right? Like what's with your classist heaven system? And he was like, well, you guys don't want to hang out with us here. Why would you want to hang out with us there?
Right.
And I think there may be a matter of, it's hard for us because I think, I like to think of us as the good guys, as the people who want to be all encompassing. We want to love everyone. We want to believe in the good in everyone. But I think the sorting system that's going on, in the last 3 years and beyond, right, to show us like how people really either can't think for themselves or they're full on like with an agenda, right? That's their path to walk, perhaps,
Yep.
Yeah.
And let me back that up real quick with this. Also, that has to go along. I was just saying this last night. I love the synchronicities. They're so fast. They keep smacking me in the butt. I love them. Last night, I was just saying to myself, like I was saying last night to myself, I was like, there are a lot of people that have learned a lot of lessons along the way. They've been thrown all kinds of stuff, okay? Then there's some that really haven't. Then there's some that, maybe had the minimal of lessons, okay? And they haven't learned. So to me, I'm like, a lot of us have been through a lot more stuff, and we're like, we're done. And there are people that are just like, no, we want to go through more stuff, you know. Then there's people like that. We haven't been through nothing yet. We still need to go through a lot more crap to learn, you know, because a lot of people, I know, speaking for myself, we learned the hard way. I learned the hard way, you know, like something severe has to happen in order for me to stop in my tracks and be like, hold on, am I doing something wrong, or what's going on in the world? So I think everyone had, like you said, their levels. What have we experienced? Some people are just like, no, I'm not done. I would still want to be lied to and robbed and all that, you know. And some people are just like, no, you're not doing it no more, period. You know.
Yeah. Although I would say that as much as there's levels, that's still a kind way of thinking. Like, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I need to be, you know, I think there's also like straight up evil, right? There's like straight up bad seeds, right?
Yeah.
And their garden needs to flourish in order for us to see their faces, right? Like, you know, to really see the effect they have on people. Now, I may be wrong, and we may have we might all start getting to some, you know, if we tried to decide what was evil and what isn't evil, we might start getting into a gray area very soon with some people, right? Like, I'm not trying to pull like moral authority, but I do think there is a level of, straight up people that are designed to weed themselves out in these times, you know. Like, I don't think you could switch them into some benevolent sense of equality, even if you tried, you know. So, and it could be
by nature.
Yeah, and it could be they're at the lowest level. Then we could put it on levels and call them the lowest level, and they just never get past it. But I think there's a level of that has to be nurtured in order so that we can get to a place where we could be in these physical avatars, in our sovereign bodies, on our sovereign lands, you know, in an infinite eternal space, knowing no one would ever do that to anyone ever again, whatever it is. You know, think you're better, you know?
Oh, I like that. Exactly. Yep. I agree with that. That reminds me of the movie Divergent. Everyone's got their, you know, these people are good in this, these people are for here, that people are for there.
Isn't that a book?
It's a movie.
I thought
it might be a book.
Did it start out as a book, like Hunger Games, right? Okay.
Yeah.
That's what that reminds me of. Everyone's got what there's some that are, you know, like I like to say there's some that are just like frontline warriors. Then there's some that are like, we just want to share some light and some information. You know, everyone's got their own little thing. And then you clash all of them together. You put all of them together, you know. And then we have the thing, there's a lot of people also that like to fit in. People like to fit in, especially if you don't know yourself yet. I like to fit in. I was that way. I was that way for a while. I wanted to fit in because I didn't know me. But then when I started to know me and get comfortable with me, I didn't care about fitting in anywhere. That's the once you get good with you don't care about if you fit in with anyone. You gotta know yourself.
Yeah, it's that stripping down process so that once you can actually find yourself, then it's like you are ready and at the level to quote unquote find your tribe. You know. You it's like order of operations, so you have to like strip yourself down and really be authentic and true to yourself and get honest with who you are as an individual, and then you can integrate into like the collective or a group or quote, you know, community of people or whatever you want to call it, because you've done that first, that prerequisite, you know, of self-work and self-honesty. So when you do enter into relationships and friendships or romantic relationships, once you enter into these things, it's going to be more likely to be healthy because you've quote unquote done your homework, or, you know, done the stuff you're supposed to do already, rather than getting into relationships and then running the risk of creating a toxic relationship because you didn't do that work that's supposed to be done prior, you know, to have optimal relationships. In theory, I yield.
Okay. And I'm sorry. Go ahead, Becca. I was gonna say
you go ahead. You go ahead.
Okay, and I was gonna say, and that would also go along, Christos, with we've been lied to about who we are as people, what we're capable of, what we can do. And a lot of people don't want to take the role on, oh, what, we're powerful, we can do this ourselves. Because now you are the creator of your own reality. And now, if you are the creator of your own reality, you have brought about everything in your life with your thoughts, which means now you have to take personal responsibility for your own actions. That comes down to, are people ready to take personal responsibility for your own actions? If not, you proceed to what Christo said, the toxicity relationships, So it's like a big mind screw on people all together, all together. I yield. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, but that's also comes back to all that programming that we've been subjected to that's like divisive and hitting its culmination point, it seems now, like, what was I going to say? That I think one of the key parts that's missing, one of the, sometimes we don't use language as much as we should, for instance. So I think once you're okay on your own and you don't give a shit what people think, then there's a phase of learning you want sort of a deeper intimacy with the world, right? Not just on a sexual level, like on a level where you actually see that you can build relationships with people that actually involve calling each other out and trusting that you're going to be okay without that call out, and you're going to be okay after the call out, and that you're building something together in such a way that, really strengthens that vulnerability that you can create once you feel like you've met someone or some people that really see and understand you, and it can seem weird. It can, especially in a world that's like all hyper talking about sexuality and gender and all that jazz, it can seem, it's easier and safer in these forums, to actually exercise that, partly because they're so big, but also because you have, you do have that option to go to other forums, like if something went sour, but also to know that ideally you're working on interrelating with people that has built something, that allows you to take those skills and that sense of autonomy out there into something to build together, right? Because that's really what we're trying to do here, is like build a reality where these people's behavior can't exist, and they're held accountable for it, whether it's keeping the world under the thumb of medicine or under the thumb of poverty, or or under the thumb of government, which it's its own religion, right? I realized this week, like, they're the ministries and the prime ministers, and like in a lot of these countries, it's like you're going to the ministry of something. Like, what are you ministering to me? And why isn't it called the ad ministry of something? But anyways, I yield.
Oh, I like that. The administrate. Oh, wow. Okay.
So,
Chucky, do you want to add anything? Yeah. I'd like
I'm just
that.
listening.
Okay. Yeah. Because
Looking at
how
the chat.
okay, because how Chucky's been feeling, Charles been feeling lately. How he's been feeling lately. I went through that already. And then when I got past that, then I found his stream. So that's why I'm like, oh, I know. I want to see everyone come together too. But then it's like, you got to think all the way around the block, like who's willing to do what work. Everyone has their own role, all that above and beyond. And people have families, so they have kids, so they're more concentrated on that, Like, I got a family I'm trying to take care of, but I also try to learn information. I started off on this journey like I wanted to sound the alarms. I'm over here like I'm going to break out banners, rolling down every high tower. That was me. I was the crazy one. I'm going to run around, and I kind of started to tell my family and neighbors, and then I really stuck out like a sore thumb. And then I had to realize it, and it was Mind's Eye that made me realize it. I wanted to go around and shake everyone. And I was like, but you're traumatizing them. He made me realize you're traumatizing them. It's like, I want someone to be like, hey, now, this is what's going on. And no, I didn't. And then when I realized that
That's what happened.
Helped me stop. I stopped, Chucky, because I was like, what am I doing? You know?
When people see to learn the truth and they realize that we've been bamboozled hardcore, it does kind of traumatize you. You're like, you sit back and you're like, can't believe I've been fooled. I always knew something was up, but when I really, really started to figure out about 98%, it's probably 99.9% of this shit is all a lie. Even the history I'm starting to learn, it just don't add up when you really start breaking it all down. But as far as the unity part, I feel as though my channel is a place where people can come, even if they don't like other people that are here. You still could come here and build without fucking arguing or talking shit to each other. So my new name is Chuck the Abbot. You know, like from Wu-Tang. If you look at the RZA, it's called the Abbot. He brought together two projects that were killing each other. And they used to go to his house and make music. Two projects. These people were killing each other, and they would go to his house. That's the only place they can go where they would make music with each other and there's no fights, no arguments. So just because someone don't like someone else that's here, don't mean you can't come here and build. Like I've always said, man, everyone's not going to agree on everything. It's just not going to happen.
Making it sound like something happened. I'm not asking Charles.
No, I'm just saying in general. There's always something in the community. There's always someone don't like this that someone does, someone don't like that, or it's always going to happen. You can't stop it. It's just people in general. It's life.
Yeah.
But
exactly.
Just because someone don't like someone that comes here, don't throw me in the pot. Like, if someone got a problem with someone else and I'm cool with both of them, I'm still cool with both of them. I don't want to be that. Sometimes I feel like I'm in the middle of certain situations, and it's like, well, damn, now these two people are beefing, so what the fuck do I do,
Man,
that's what I mean. Trying to bring people together is tough.
People just need to be respectful at the end of the day when it comes to mutual friendships and that type of stuff. It just really comes down to just being mature, respectful, and you already know. What's understood doesn't have to be explained.
Yeah. Yeah.
People out there, quit being toxic. Toxicity comes in all ages. So old, young, the internet. It's just like real life. And there's mutual friends, like two people have an issue, but then there's one person that's cool with both of them. Like, have respect for that friend that you guys are both friends with, and not create don't triangulate and create issues because there's issues between two people and other people know those two people. It's just unnecessary. No need to tangle webs and
don't get involved.
Like London Man made that good video about joking around and stuff. What was it called? I like
the holy weirdo, the holy social weirdo experiment.
Yeah. That shit made me laugh, man. It's rare that people make me laugh. Yeah, we need laughter because everything's so serious all the time. And London Man, I think, stated that. But
what he did was perfect.
Yeah.
I have a similar vision of what these communities can be in a comedic sense.
Exactly.
It's a good kind of summary of what he did with these past two videos. It highlights certain aspects that are very comedic and makes them even funnier. And it's not I liked it. Yep.
It highlighted it already. All right, that's for sure.
Like someone could make a video on me and be like, "You're fake, Chuck. You're this, you're that." That shit won't even bother me, man, because at the end of the day, that's their fucking how could I put it? That's their personal
Perception.
yeah, that's what they think. I ain't mad at it.
Yep.
But me, I'm just I'm not the type that's gonna waste my breath making videos on people. There's stuff that I don't like people do, but that's them. I'm not gonna sit here and try to change people. That's up to them, man. No one tried to change me. I changed myself. I had to go through shit in order to realize what I needed to change.
Exactly.
Sometimes you gotta bump your head on the tree.
I was gonna say, like, that's how I had to learn everything in my life. I'm stubborn. I'm hard headed. I'll admit it. I'm hard headed. You couldn't get through to me for a long time. But when I started to realize, like you said, Charles, I realized my whole life there was something wrong with the system. And something always told me I've been here way too many times and I'm not coming back. Something always told me that. So when I started to learn about things, honestly, the way I looked at it is I got excited. I was like, oh, you weren't wrong. You were right all along. There was something severely wrong and you were picking it up all along. So my perspective is I kind of got excited. I didn't even so much get mad. I mean, yeah, there's anger, but I was more like, oh, you were right. You weren't running around crazy thinking, who are you? What's this place you're in? It kind of gave me relief. Like, okay, so you knew something was going on. You just couldn't put your finger on it yet. Now it's starting to shed more light for you. You know?
I'm just glad I met everyone here, because it's in my life outside of here, there's not damn near none people that's open-minded. I might know 2 people, and they're always busy. They got families at work, so it's not like they have time for me to call and talk to them about stuff. So for me to find all these beautiful, powerful minds that are open-minded, excuse me, and take time out to come here and share their thoughts and viewpoints makes my day.
Yeah.
I second that motion.
Yeah.
Big time.
Me too. Even though I have family, I have toxicity a part of my family that still hasn't completely, it's slowly weeded itself out, but it hasn't got there yet. So even around my family, I feel alone, you know? With my family, I feel alone. Because it's like walking around with other people that don't want to know the truth about nothing at all. And I've come to find out that the people that don't even want to know the truth or aren't even open-minded, them running around with the ones that are somewhat aware of some things, some of them honestly are putting other lives in jeopardy. I'm starting to realize that. Because if you're not aware, like, of laws, regulations, and you're still under this illusion, and then you have this person over here that's aware of the truth, and they're like, no, this is wrong, this is tyrannical, and this one's like, no, it's not. Just go, like, do as they say and go. I'm over here like, the unaware potentially is already, like, on my end, to be putting the people aware their life in jeopardy. So it gets to where sometimes you don't even want to be around some people that aren't aware, you know, because it's like,
who remembers it?
you know.
No, I thought you were done.
Okay, now I'm done. Go ahead. Sorry, I yield.
You brought up laws and stuff. Like, I remember the times you can go fishing and you didn't need a fishing license. 88, 89. I was probably 8 years old, but I remember. And you could go to, like, the reservoirs, at least about, I would say, 2 or 3 miles from my house. We have our reservoir. It's up, like, I don't know what to call it, a mountain or a hill. But actually we got like 3 huge reservoirs. They start going towards, I think it's Berlin and Meriden. New Britain has one, but they're like back to back. They feed all these towns that are around here. And New Britain has their own reservoir. But I think New Britain's gotten so big that they even get water from Bristol, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, the point is, we used to be able to do all this stuff, hike on the Blue Trail, like, roads everywhere, do all this stuff, and now it's like, I went to the reservoir, I wrote this up before they kicked me out. Property, blah, blah, blah. Where's that coming from?
Your volume's
Am I
going
hearing
out
music
again.
or am I tripping?
No, that's
Could
background
be you.
beta wave. Wait, no, hold on, you're fine now. I had just background beta waves playing, very low. You can hear that?
And now you can't do shit. Yeah. All these laws they
But
put in
slow,
place, you gotta have a fishing license. You gotta have a fucking, next to be a hiking license. You need a license to take a shit. You need. It's ridiculous. What's up, London man? Peace.
Peace. What's cracking?
In
London.
London.
How we doing, people?
Not much.
Good. Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday. All of the good stuff.
Yes.
Mhm.
London Spielberg. Oh, you still have that name there. I didn't notice that. London Spielberg.
Yeah,
I
it
like
seems like
it.
I'm living up to that title.
Yeah, it seems like it.
Mm. That's
Yep.
exactly what it is.
What
Yeah.
title?
Spielberg.
Spielberg.
Oh. Gilbert?
He's the
Oh,
next.
Spielberg.
Yeah, he's the
Okay.
next. He's the next booby to be movie producer.
Yeah.
I thought
There it is.
Spielberg was the guy who gives thumbs up or something. Am I wrong?
No, Spielberg's a
He's the one
producer.
who,
He's a producer.
Yeah, Steven Spielberg.
Yeah, I almost got it on the
Mixed
money
up.
right there.
It's better.
London Bond. Yeah, boy. Ah, man, oh, man.
I
What's
went
cracking
to a chat
differently, though, man?
yesterday.
Say that again.
No, I just went into a chat yesterday and people were all mad and stuff.
You went into a track. What track?
Chat
You say you made it. Your volume's a bit
Or-
crackly, Chuck. You said you made a track yesterday.
No, hold on. Let me fix this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
volume.
he's organ. Pretty bad, actually. Sound like he said he made a track yesterday.
He
I
said he
think-
went into a chat. Went into a chat yesterday.
Went into a chat yesterday. Oh, my chat.
Do I sound better now?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you do.
Yeah, 1-1.
But all right. I don't know why it's Borging out. Damn Star Trek Borgs. Yeah, I was listening to your live yesterday.
Yeah, my live was up and down, man. Had so many people in the chat room, in the panel, passing through and shit. Yeah, it was all over the place. There weren't no title, to be honest. It was just me addressing some things, and then we got into a little build and a little sit down time with Tommy and a few of the other people. But yeah, it was just me addressing some fucking weirdos, some spooky people. That's all it is. Yeah, it weren't like class in session. It wasn't, a gems being dropped. It wasn't one of
There
those
were
days.
some in the beginning. I was there just for the beginning part, I think. Maybe the first hour or something.
Okay.
I don't know how
Okay.
long it was.
Yeah. I mean, the
But
panel
yeah, you had
do keep up. Tommy and Manny was up there.
no, go ahead.
No, I was
Yeah,
gonna say the
go ahead,
panel
Manny.
of lately they've been very expertish. They've been very, on the money. And then even Bex joined as well. So, the panel just keeps on getting better and better when people join. So salute to that. But I mean, for me, for when I joined, it was just me addressing things. It wasn't really going to be like a class and session type of thing. It was just me addressing some issues. Yeah, it was a little rocky, as Dini would say. A little rocky.
I think I always try to see the lessons in things. And I know, like, I might have learned in my own family, and maybe a lot of us have learned to do that in our lives to our detriment, in a sense of, say, staying in abusive scenarios, whether we knew they were abusive or toxic or not. But I think as we move forward in a community, trying to, like, heal from those personal injuries and try to build something together, I think that we all need to learn to put our defenses down, you know
Yeah.
and I think that one thing that I've witnessed, and that has happened, I think, is that there's a situation amongst the community that has people's guards up, right? But often we come into these panels as we try to expand our communities into other communities. We come into these panels with our guard up, and some people come in with their guard up in some sense because of say their focus of their research, right, might have them holding on to one aspect of the truth that has them defending something that maybe other people feel like they've already put that whole thing behind them, and not realizing that just because we're sitting in the same rooms that people, I guess all I'm trying to say is that if we really look at what happened yesterday, even if any one of us could have stepped in to try and curb it, as somebody who was, say, misbehaving, if that's what people are going to sit in judgment and say, if the main talker was misbehaving in any way, he actually did ask more than 3 times for people to take the wheel, and I sat and I listened, and I woke this morning thinking about what that looks like for me after sitting in some of maybe these other rooms that Charles is talking about. And maybe even me being someone who invited someone up, not talking to London about how he structures his show first. Like, I think that we all, but I was grateful, that I had, because I knew that at some point, in that dialogue and in sitting there, I was thanked by that same person for giving, for giving him an audience where he could see someone's face, right? Like, if I go to the grocery store without my glasses on, it's a totally different experience for me. Like, I can hardly hear people without my glasses on, and it has nothing to do with my ears. It has to do with how I read people, and I think we've all been even more hurt in some of these online spaces, and we don't know the backgrounds of each other that's brought us all to these rooms, and yet I think that the common ground is the goodness in us. And I know we're looking for the evildoers. We're looking for the people that have been in our change room since we were children, lying to us and gaslighting us. And, they've been in our families, they might know what they're doing. They might not know what they're doing, but our mind is about us, right? And what we're building here in counterance to what they've been doing for a long time, so maybe I'm, coming, and I could, I'm speaking sort of in code, right? But I think most people who know what's going on know, I think I was a part of what happened, but I still think that trusting in the good in people and in the fact that if we're feeling defensive and seeing someone being defensive, that can we build skills together to break down that, to at least assess if someone's good or bad. You know what I mean? Like,
Now, hey, Bex, I hear what you're saying, yeah, but people say things that is very irreversible, right? Regarding what happened yesterday, I heard someone say this, right? Chuck wasn't quick enough to delete that, so I went and downloaded it, right? This was something regarding with me and myself, what happened, over here. right? They said Chuck wasn't fast enough to delete it, so I went and downloaded it, right? Me and this person supposed to be friends. Keeping that in mind, when this thing happened, me and this person was cool. We was friends. He comes onto my panel, we build with each other. But I heard him say Chuck wasn't fast enough to delete something, so I downloaded it. How can we see eye to eye with people like this? Right? You downloaded something of me. So we supposed to be friends at that time when you're downloading stuff of me. I can't be in a community with people like this, and then people want to tag along with people like that. If they can do it to me and we're supposed to be friends at that time, they can do it to any of us. And these are the same people that's talking all this colour shit, like, and I'm like, wow, what am I not doing right to let people see? I've been exposing people out here. But some people just really want to fit in, so they turn a blind eye to these things that I've been exposing. Colour, racism, this, that. I've been exposing it all, and I ain't ready to build no community or move forward with these type of people. I land right there.
I respect that
Yeah.
about London, man.
Got it.
One thing about London, man, that I respect. Can y'all hear me?
1-1.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So, London man's always straight up. And many times, he talked to me behind the scenes, straight up. He could have been like other people. He made videos about me, talked down about me like many other people do, but he's always been straight up. Talk to me like a man, and I respect that. There's not many people that I've met on here that would do that. And I might not like some of the stuff he has to say, but that's London man. You know what I'm saying? He's straight up. Like I said, and I respect that. And other people might not like what he says, but at least he's straight up about it, and he comes out, you know what I'm saying? And he expresses the problems he has. And he will call you out. You know, he won't sit there and beat around the bush and be like, well, you know, and just talk about the shit. He will call the person out and let them know how he feels. It's his platform. You know, he can say what he wants. So, who fell
That's
off?
it. Christos. To be honest, Chuck,
Yeah.
sometimes, right, I feel like I can be that, you know, voice piece for people that's too, wouldn't say afraid. Actually, you know what, fuck it, I will say afraid, because it seems like people are afraid to say what's really going on, you know, especially when a different type of hue person walks into the building or jumps on a panel. No one really wants to speak their mind, right? I'm not afraid to speak my mind. Fuck all that individual shit, diversity, you know, you're this colour, so you gotta respect me because I come first. Fuck all that shit. Until you can prove that, you know, you come first, but that's not the topic I like to get into. That is weak, if you ask me. That's so shallow-minded. I ain't got time for that. You know, you lot might, but I don't get into all that racism and who was first, unless it's for a better cause. Not just to boast and, you know, to have higher rank on the bloody panel or wherever you go. Just because I'm first and my skin's darker, it means I'm more powerful. I ain't into all of that crap. Not me. And I see a lot of people is into that shit. Or they're scared to call it out. Don't be afraid to call this shit out. If it's wrong, it's wrong. In my opinion.
Somebody said the wisest shit. They said, when a bear meets a bear in the wood, they sit there and be like, this is my tree, I came first. You know what I'm saying? Or animals never argue over who's first, who's more supreme, who's darker or lighter. You know. And to be truthful, we're damn near the only country in the world. When you go to other countries, they don't even call each other white, black, brown, none of that. They call them by their name, name. That's disrespectful to me. My whole life I had to deal with that shit. You're white boy. I'm not, my name's Chuck, man. Not white boy. You know? So I didn't like, you know, I don't even like calling people black or brown or none of that shit. To me, it's like utmost disrespect.
Well,
But
I've been, listen, my whole I feel like my whole community's been disrespected. Not just only me, right? Especially when they use the term like, you Europeans over there, you foreigners and all of that stuff. right? When we're cool, they don't say these words to me. But when we have a little, bumping of their heads, it's you are a foreigner, you're a Sambo, you're this. So is this how you really felt about me all this time? Say how you really felt, innit? Don't say it when we start falling out. You want to start using foreigner, Sambo, and you Europeans and all of that stuff. Because that's how you really feel about me. There's not one time I ever say you fucking Americans. You just they even take the piss out of the way I talk. When someone starts to take the piss out your accent and these things, that's when you got to really check for the racist borderlines. When they start taking the piss out your accent, the way how you talk, because they can't get you on nothing else because you're too authentic for that. So they got to start mimicking your accents and all of this shit. Can you imagine if I was an Indian talking person, or hold on? Can you imagine if I was an Indian or African talking person? Can you imagine how they'd be? Oh, London this, London that. It would sound all racism to me. Oh, London this, London that. Like you
Well,
hey.
and it was done actually yesterday. It was done actually yesterday. Even to people of the same. Yeah, I can remember it happening yesterday when Richard wasn't able to speak, right? So we may not notice when other people are doing it. You might just know,
No, but this is the thing. I know when it's a time to use it. Like even yesterday on my panel when it was being used, that was all in good humor. Even I was dragged into that. My name even got dragged into. I found it funny. That was hella funny. But on those panels, like the Aboriginal surge ups and that, when they do it, there's no humor. It's how they really feel about you. You understand? It's how they feel about you. There's no humor behind it. Yeah.
But maybe it's sort of, I guess I didn't realize it. I know I participate in this holy social weirdo experiment, whether you were actually producing what you're doing and whether I was participating or not. Like, what I'm trying to say is like, I've noticed like I don't use I started using a handle here, Bex. I played around with last names, but I thought I'd stick with Broom because, I haven't changed my name or started a page, and I'm getting to my point here. Like I am who I am. I have my avatar as a picture of me, and I do find that I've noticed, we noticed from the person that we met through, right? He went, I can say who he is, Lou Fiore. That's who he is. He goes by his name all the time, but he also has a caricature, Commander Lou. And I think sometimes people have a safety behind their anonymity they've created for themselves. People have from Comedian Lou from like 6 or 8 weeks ago on London's channel. It was, but yeah, my point is, I think that I've noticed that people can be really, you can have a safety mechanism behind your anonymity online, and I'm not trying to advocate that everyone should not be anonymous, but I do think that when the people get more and more vocal and they have complete anonymity, that's when, you do have this opportunity to see people's true colors, right? So, whether I don't know, I guess my thing is, I don't know. I've been to some of these pages. Am I welcome there? I've felt welcome, like, yeah. Anyways.
Yeah. Hey, I'm glad you said that. You felt welcome, right? But
yeah,
you felt it, but deep down inside, trust me. Like I just said to you, when they start, mimicking your accent and just, doing weird things that, that makes you individual from them. Mocking the thing that makes you individual, like your accent or the way you walk, anything, that's not registered to them. They'll mock it. Then that's how they really feel about you.
Yeah.
I even heard someone say yesterday, how come I don't have people the same skin of my color on my panel? Wow. From London. That's what they said. How come I don't have the people same color as me on my panel? I was like, is this what you lot are, mixing with? This is the shit they say.
Okay, now hold on, London. Hold on, listen. I got something for that. Listen. I'm gonna look at it from another end, okay? I see what you're saying. I can see both ends. I see what you're saying. Maybe though, they might say that because they might feel they can resonate more with people that are of their color. So instead of looking at the negative aspect, maybe they're like, we can probably resonate. See, we're looking at it as, the color don't matter, but maybe there's people that will like, I might resonate more if it's people of my, that's the positive way I'm looking at it.
Yeah, but to me, Kim, that way sucks as well. That way sucks
It
because
does.
it's people of their color that's giving them the drug, putting a bullet in their back, doing everything under the sun that we shouldn't be doing to each other. So color don't mean a thing. This is what I'm trying to get away from, Kimber. This color thing, the skin thing, resonate with you because you're my skin color. What are we talking about? Come on, Kimber, don't do this to me, man. Please,
No,
I
know.
come on,
Believe
man.
me, I know. I'm the same way. I don't give it. You could be purple, green, yellow. I don't care. But I'm saying other people might be thinking.
I look
I
at it
know.
like this.
That's all. But I know what you mean. We have to get away from the whole. See, that don't matter.
Yeah, facts.
None of
Don't.
it. None of it.
Facts.
Okay, so
Growing up,
so that's a big thing to you. Okay, I see that now. That's a huge thing, and that's why. Okay,
Yeah, man.
why it gets under your skin. Okay,
It really does. It really does.
yeah.
I used to be met with racism at a younger age in my teens, and with the white boy shit, and white man this, white man that. And I've talked about this before, and that shit used to drive me crazy. Why do these people hate me, but you don't even know me? You're just not liking me because I'm a so-called white person. You don't even know me.
Label.
So my whole goal from that point on was to prove to people that are like that not all white people are trash. And you got to get to know the person for who they are. And I don't look at people as being white, black, brown, green, orange. I look at them as an individual, even more than their name. I mean, a person has a name, but they're more than just a name and a color. I really don't know how to explain that, but all this color shit, like, there's many things I could say, about how it's hypocritical and stuff. I could bring up many situations. How they blame. I'll bring up one because I don't like Black Lives Matter movement because they're hypocritical too. But they'll sit there and say
Where's
the
the
white
White
cop,
Lives
the white
Matter
man
movement,
shot our
right?
people.
White lives.
Where are they? Where are they when they're shooting each other down in the projects? I mean, if they really cared about their people being murdered, they would bring that up. And I'm not, now I'm going to be racist and be this and that, but even people agree with me with that. Even so-called black people I know agree with me 1,000%. And these are people that grew up in the so-called ghetto or projects. They agree with me. They're like, they don't even like Black Lives Matter. They say it's hypocritical, the thieves, they stole the money from the people. So, but
Yeah.
I just had to bring that situation up. But this black and white shit and this brown and all this shit, that racism, my whole thing is what type of race is it? What race, like, who's going to win the race? The most ignorant? That's why it's called racism. It's a race for the ignorant. Who's going to be the most ignorant at the end of the day to win that race?
But you know what it is,
We're always
Chuck?
arguing over who came first and all this shit. It's getting old. Go ahead, London man.
No, you're right. It's getting very old. It's getting outdated. But this is the type of things you get in an echo chamber. Outdated shit. It keeps on looping, right? People get too comfortable. The other day, right, Chuck, I heard someone saying about the stream that I had with the bird and the eye and everything. When we was, doing great things over there the other night, someone was saying like London's stream the other day was a bit weird. He was saying so many things basically. So I told him, look, I'm going live Friday, hit the link. He didn't hit the link, didn't even show up. He said he's going to be there, said he's going to be there. Dropping these guys said they're going to come through still and gate crash the party, But this is the type of, place that we're living in. People talk so much shit. When you confront them, tell them I'm opening up my panel. Come and tell me what you didn't like. They don't show up. You know, they'll talk so much trash from far because they're not doing what you're doing. Sometimes they wish they can be doing what other people are doing.
Bam. There you go.
You know,
Yep.
weirdos, man. Weirdos. They rather just go live and just talk shit. Yeah, it's nuts, man. It's nuts. But we're here still talking about this, and we know who the problem is and what the problem is. Someone said to me yesterday, I'm the problem because everywhere I go, I start trouble. I started trouble with Ian from We Are Awake News and something with Bro Sanchez. I'm like, Bro Sanchez and Ian from We Are Awake News, is this what you don't want to pin on me? Like, come on, man. Come on. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy. We got to do better than this, man.
Okay, so hold on, London. I just want to, just listening to you right now, just with what you just said, because I don't know who did what to who, you know, I'm not aware of all that, you know. I just like to see the people get along. So when you just said, when you just said we all know who it is, blah 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 blah. So let me, am I feeling this right from you? Tell me if I'm right or wrong. Are you trying to like clear and make sure everything's good with you and trying to figure out who the issue is? Are you trying to make sure everyone knows who the issue is? That's all I want to know.
That's it.
Okay, that's it. Okay, that's what I thought. That's what I thought. Okay. But see, now this is a thing. We're discussing other people here on YouTube when they're not here. That's just my, you know, like my thing, you know, like we're discussing or bringing them up here. They're not in the chat. They're not coming up. You know, should we be doing this in this manner, in this platform right here? That's what I'm saying.
I just want to say that
you know what I mean?
I never heard Sir Drop bring anything up racist or nothing like that. I've heard other people, but Drop's one that has always showed love on my channel. He's been respectful. I've never heard him say anything racist, but
No, of course, not to you. No, not to you, obviously, but they'll rather say it to another black guy. They won't say these things to another white guy. This is the scared mentality of most of these fucking, you know, black American boys.
Too,
yeah, of course, but of course, but let me just talk my shit, bro. Because this is what I see. Most of these scared American, African black boys, you know, quick to bang on another black guy. But when it comes to the police or another white guy, yes sir, 2 bags, sir, 2 bags full. All of that shit. Let's keep it real. We've seen it happen. When the police roll by, they get shook. We all do sometimes. But that's not the point I'm trying to make. The point I'm trying to make is these fools are just straight out racist when they want to be. And they'll try and laugh it off to make it look like a joke. It's just weird to me. Like I said, he might not say it to you, but I got called a Sambo the other day because apparently I'm you know, holding panels with white people, Europeans. So they might not say things to you, but they say things to me like this. You understand?
You do.
Okay,
what do they expect?
Say that again.
London. Sorry.
I said.
Hold on.
I said you live in Europe. Who else you supposed to? You know what I'm saying? That's where you're from. So most people are going to gravitate towards you. That's from Europe. That's where you live.
Facts. They say stupid shit like that, Chuck. Don't even check the geography of it before they talk. But you got it, Kimmy.
Okay, let me ask you this, London. You were all saying about the racism. You don't like the racism, you're done with it. Don't matter the color, whatever, creed, race, religion, any of that, right? But then these people, because I go through this, these other people come along and then start saying who you have on the panel. Do you really give a damn what these people think about who you have on the panel? Do you really care that deeply about how these people think? Or are you really trying to live up to your name about the not caring about, you know?
No, well, this is the thing. Alright, let me put it this way.
Okay.
When they say things, right, that kind of like almost like cause I won't say a riot, but you know, some YouTube stampede, right? And then I will still look over there and I will see people of black color actually saying, yeah, drop, yeah, or yeah, whoever it is, egging it on. I look at the whole community as like, ain't no one looking at this as wrong. Like, are you look all as one? So if no one's gonna check them on it from that community, is it me that has to do the checking? I don't want to have to do the checking. We should all be already checked. We should know what we're doing, know what we're saying.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah. So it's a collective thing you're feeling. Oh, that's it. Yes, it's okay. So it's not okay. I gotcha. All right.
Yeah, it's definitely a collective thing. Definitely.
Yeah, it's a collective thing. It's not that you're worried about what the other people say so much. It's just like, why can't just everyone just drop with all that crap? And yeah, okay, I get what you're saying. Okay. Yeah. Because I was wondering, was it something you just needed to vent and say it to? That was my next guess. You just need to say it. But now that you said it more, it's more collective thing. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. There's no individuals over
just-
there.
I
It's
just wanna
a
say-
collective.
Go
I
on.
just want to say peace to Dark Chameleon. My bad.
Ah, salutes. Salute. I even heard Dark say something to Jock maybe about a week ago or something. Jock didn't even want to deal with the question that Dark answered him. Dark answered him, why you never stand on your word? Why you always sweep stuff under the carpet? He didn't want to deal with that, Dark. Salutes to you, bro. He didn't want to deal with that. Dark asked him, why don't you ever stand on your word? Why you push shit under the carpet? Yeah, salutes to that. Some real life questions you gotta ask these clowns out here. I tell you that much.
No, yeah, much respect, London, because there aren't many people that like to confront things head on, whether you're right or wrong. You know?
If I'm wrong, we can sit down and talk it out. Let me know where I went wrong. Bring me up to
Right.
speed. Bring me up to speed where I went wrong. But if it seems like I'm not wrong, I'm gonna tell you how much of a clown you are. Fuck all that pretty shit. I ain't here to be pretty no more. I ain't here to be honest, I've never been pretty. I've been trying my hardest to not, stay ugly. But the ugliness is coming back again. Fuck this pretty shit.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck all that.
But is it ugly when you're using something to protect something? Like it's like the difference between arrogance and sitting in righteous judgment. Like I'm not trying to. We shouldn't be putting ourselves or anyone on a pedestal. But when we take a step forward together spiritually and work through a problem in these forums, like we have been doing over the last few weeks, and I'm sure what's done publicly is only a small percentage of what happens privately in the overlapping circles amongst us, so I'm just saying that it's important to understand that, we're learning to have integrity together, and maybe it's right to be emotional, and it's right to feel it is right to feel righteous when you feel like you're in the right, and that's supported. But and I know this is what I learned I sat on a channel for a couple of years where the guy said women couldn't minister, right? And I only sat there quietly because I did realize that as a true woman, who hasn't had a family to protect but should have, that my empathy can lead me astray. Right? Like it really can. I can empathize too much with the wrong people and waste my time or more so because I'm not building anything. I'm just building their ego or whatever. Right. So I think that, I think what's important here is maybe maybe we all need to learn some etiquette. We need to learn to have on people's channels, understand what their stance is and what their lines are and what they don't cross. And, and maybe it does cause divisiveness in the community for a while, but And I'm not trying to tell people what to do. I'm just saying, like, I know as someone who may sit in rooms where I'm not welcome and I'm not aware of it, you know, or because it might just reinforce for some people in the room, you know, that there's that opportunity to pounce or something on me. You know, I'm definitely not at this stage, say, naive to that happening, but I'm not there for that. You know, like I am there to find the people that can come over here. Not that that's my job or anything, but I'm just saying that's how the algorithms work. That's how Hippie Shake was doing it, sharing everyone's links all the time, you know, like, you know, and it doesn't mean we're going to find all good in everybody, but, you know, are the gems worth it, you know, and then having these conversations so that maybe we can help a good chunk of people get past that, or at least understand, you know what, we can't come to the table thinking we're better than anyone. Okay. History's lied. Science has lied. Right? If there's something in someone's skin that's more valuable than something in someone's skin, then it has to have something to do with like geography, because somebody else must have something valuable in some other state or being because they're different. Right? So just equal value, everybody's invaluable, you know, would be what my best outlook would be on the situation, you know. Some people are stuck on their loops, you know. So I don't know if I'm talking in a loop or not here, but you know, it's about understanding that, you know, that to draw boundaries around what you're doing, what you want to do, you know, to call people out on their hypocrisies, right? Because someone might be like, why are you letting that guy have the megaphone when they're the same kind of person that comes in with their own megaphone or something like that, right? Like, so yeah, I don't know. I try to see the best in people, but I want to trust that, you know, that in sense of my empathy, it's safer being vulnerable around men I trust and that I see the good in, to draw some boundaries. Like I support that I might not always see what kind of, you know, I know that I need that protector male energy to help me see sometimes, right? Like to keep myself on guard, or just to better understand if I am trying to be some sort of peacemaker, like what kind of cost it might come at or something, you know? So, yeah. I don't know if I really said what I guess for me, it comes down to, I don't like hanging around with people that think they're better than anyone. I really don't. You know, I don't like hanging around with people that think they're better than anyone for any reason. However, I watch a channel, for instance, a guy who's a really outside of the box thinker, who's very Christian, and he definitely thinks he's better than everyone because of his Christianity, you know, and some people might be put off by that, but fuck, his thinking is fantastic, and I don't got to buy into everything the guy says. You know, like just because he's like went off about, you know, his form of fasting is better than other people's form of fasting. I even know people of that form of fasting that watch that channel and still plug his channel, even though they're like totally, definitely not Christian and not in agreement of this like fasting competition, whose religion does it right or better idea, but he'll still plug his channel. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, so, yeah, if we shut our minds off completely to people because they're so self-righteous, you know.
The only person you should try to hold on, Dark Chameleon, I'm giving it right to you. The only person you're supposed to be better than is your goddamn self. If you're not striving to be a better person, you will never be a better person focusing on somebody else that's not good as you. You're supposed to focus on yourself and let everything come with that. So I'm supposed to be better than I was yesterday. Sometimes I'll be worse than I was yesterday. But the object is to grow and be better and not judge somebody else if you ain't trying to help them. Now, if I'm judging you, it's in the form of me helping you. It's going to be like, hey, man, you might want to step this part of your game up. You might want to do this, that, and the third. That's me judging you. But I'm not going to say, man, that motherfucker don't do nothing. He just such and such and such and such and such. Instead of telling him what he ain't doing so he can do it, a lot of people like to beat people down and say what they ain't doing. And that's when that's what she's saying about people thinking they better than you. Man, I go to work every day. I pay my bills and he's sitting on his ass. Don't say that. Say, hey, bro, you need to get a job, bro, to help your situation. It's the same point, but I'm not thinking I'm better than you because I got my shit in line. Because my shit can fall out of line. And one thing, Dark, my bad. It's like this. You ever saw like a couple break up because the dude or the female was a loser, but then the tables turn? Should have never judged that person. And one last thing, Dark. My dude in a wheelchair, right? Before he was in a wheelchair, he was always talking about my little homie that was broke as hell, right? He ended up getting shot in a wheelchair. Now he in a wheelchair. We riding down the street, and he looked over and say, "I'm so mad I was talking about him because I'd trade my life for his right now to have his legs. But for 5 years you was judging. Now the tables turn. But you got it, Dark. My bad."
Mm. Mm. Good stuff.
Go
What up,
ahead,
though?
Dark
What up,
Bill.
though?
Yeah,
What up? Hey,
you
it just
got it.
took a minute. It takes a minute for my phone to flip over. What up, everybody? How y'all doing?
Good.
I just
Peace.
wanted to salute everybody before I just dig in real quick. Um, what I wanted to say is what we have to understand is there's a narrative that's being played out within all genders and all creeds, and for you to have a, a understanding of that when you're dealing with people who think you're different because of your skin color, that's because they're following a certain doctrine and don't really understand that that's what they pitted against everyone. Like, you see what I'm saying? That's how you divide people when you judge off of one's skin. It's only skin deep. That's shallow, right? Like it's a whole thing. It's like like rich people want to separate themselves from poor people, right? Then you got some black people want to separate themselves from white people. Then you got some men that want to separate from women, and you got some women that want to separate from men. That is all tactics. That is all division. You got people with homes don't want to be associated with homeless people. You know what I'm saying? You got whores. They want to fuck with pimps. They don't want to fuck with squares. People that got jobs. People that work 9 to 5. You know, you got
Mm-hmm.
people that live off the system that think that they're good, and you got people like me that pay my taxes, and I think I'm better than a nigga who just sitting on his ass getting Section 8. Like morally, I do feel like I am better than somebody who just getting Section 8 living off my dick. Like it's
I
weird
think
to
they
me.
better than me though. I think they better than me that they can sit on their ass and get the same thing I'm getting. I think they're better. I wish I could just sit on my ass, dog. Bro, to me, but you got it. I ain't gonna cut you. You got it.
I'm just saying, no, because what Linda Man was talking about, right? He's feeling the energy and not being accepted in the certain panels and certain chat rooms because he deal with a diverse crowd, right? And people don't understand that you should be open minded to dealing with whoever want to deal with you. And for another person to judge him for that, that just means that they're on a lower level. That's how you have to look at that.
Mm-hmm.
Facts.
You know what
Facts.
I'm
Facts.
Or
saying?
or is it in his mind and he think that and they wouldn't deal with him no matter where he was at because he couldn't deal with me. He got mad at me and I deal with a diverse crowd. So now I'm like, hold on, bro. You kind of trolling like because he said some stuff about a black man infiltrating the whole UK and all that. So I bring the black man up and say, "Hey, I question him on it. What's the infiltration thing you talking about?" London man did a video. London man came in my chat and called me a bitch for it. I'm like, bro, hold on. So is you bringing this type of energy towards yourself, or is it really people attacking you because you deal with other ethnicities? I think. Never mind. It don't matter what I think. Y'all got it.
Oh, okay. Let me jump in there real quick. Okay, London. Let me ask you this. Let me jump in there real quick. What you just said at the end there, Sir Drop. Do you think maybe because you have such a large crowd? That is it. I'm answering myself. Okay, I don't even ask you, but I'm gonna put my input. I'm gonna put my input in there. Okay, because you have such a large crowd, like Sir Drop just said, is being invited in because you have such a large crowd and you want everyone to come together, not worry about color and this and that and that. You want everyone to come together. You are going to attract in that. You're going to attract in the all walks of life because you're trying to bring together something that the whole system has tried to work so long on. Okay. To divide. You're trying to do one of the things that they don't want. So you're going to bring all creed, race, religion, all around the world in. So you're going to have conflict no matter in your stream. If that's going to be like your main objective, yeah, see my ears ringing. That's my angels. If that's going to be your main objective to do that, you are going to bring that in. So you would have to be ready for that traffic. You would have to be ready for that traffic to come in and people be like, blah, 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 because you're trying to stop this whole racism division thing. See?
But this is what it is now, right? Before I even hit the link yesterday, when I locked onto the stream, I'm hearing London's over there samboing for these guys, right? Now, we all know what that means and, you know, and what term you want to use it in. So when I'm hearing things like this, it already lets me know what you really want to say and how you're feeling. All of these things, right? I'm not here to play these little silly games anymore. If I think something's wrong, I'm going to speak about it. Or if I don't have to speak about it, I'll pull it in a format where people can understand and see it, which I did. I presented it in my way where you should get the picture of what's been said. If it don't resonate with you, it don't resonate with you, right? I was trying to make people see the things that's been said. Infiltration, we don't go over there. So why are they putting us in that category? So they shouldn't come over here. I wasn't trying to talk about anything else other than the things that was presented. But when I'm hearing he's samboing, he's doing these for the white people, it lets me know what you really want to say and how you feel. So I ain't got much to say for people like that. I just call them bitches and keep it moving.
All right, now keep it 100 with yourself. Don't lie to yourself. When you heard Sambo, was it before you called me a bitch and hit the channel, or was it after?
Before.
No, it wasn't. Let's time stamp it. And I got $100. Let's bet $100.
It was before. It was before. I can play it right now. All right, let me share a screen. Come, let's share. I've recorded it, bro. I've got it, bro. It's not about timestamps and that. It's what I've heard. So my mind was already made up. I came in weaponized because I heard what I heard.
Bro, I didn't even say nothing. Hold on, let me say what I'm saying because you're lying. Okay. I didn't say nothing about you. I was asking him. He was talking. And then I saw in the chat, Triple R and Sir Drop is a bitch. And then I said, hold on, y'all, let me start talking. And then I came at you. I didn't come at you calling you no Sambo. And you know over there, London man is Sambo. And y'all know how that wasn't it. So that's what I'm saying. Don't be delusional and put it on yourself. Know that I was swinging back because you called me a bitch. That's where that came from. It didn't come from me calling you a Sambo and then you calling me a bitch. No, I never attacked nobody first. So just clear that part. But I understand. I did say some foul shit that you should be mad at. But I didn't start it, man. I was basically putting dude on the chopping block. Like, what's up, though? He said you infiltrated, though. And dude was like, I'm standing on what I'm standing on. I'm saying but basically what he was saying was, I go over there to try to figure them out like they come over here to figure me out. But he used the wrong word. He used infiltrate instead of another word he could have used. And then you attacked me. But that was between y'all.
Hold on.
You got it.
There was no. He's not using no wrong words, bro. He's just telling a blatant lie. We don't go over there. So what's he talking about? I could understand if we went over there, but we don't go over there. My panel don't go over there. My chat room don't go over there. Remember, we're white folks, so it would be easily noticed if we was in your chat rooms or in your panels. We're not over there like that. So what are you talking about?
Do you think he was talking about your community or Caucasians in general? I think you making it about the community. He's saying I'm going over there to pick their brains, not your community. I'm going over to talk to white folks. You're making it I am the white folks. Like it's like weird.
No. Oh, that's how you're seeing it. Okay. I mean, is anybody else seeing it like Drop, how he just described it, or is it just Drop seeing it like that?
Well, I'm white and I'm guilty of being in Sir Drop's chat recently. I wasn't there infiltrating. I was there because my friends have been on panels.
No. I'm not even talking about Sir Drop. I'm talking about, Triple R or OGs or vegans to some degree, or I know you might be over Sir Drop because Sir Drop was cool to a certain degree. So it's only right that you be over there. He don't come over kicking that Redicate. Oh, we're the first people, we're this, we're that. There's even been times where Sir Drop's been on my panel and Triple R's hit the panel talking that crap. Even Sir Drop got pissed off with it. He does it. Like, let's not act like he don't do it and we're all not fucking pissed off with it now.
Hey, but here go the misunderstanding, and that's probably why you took it like it. It turned into an open panel. It was supposed to be me questioning Triple. He was so late to the panel. It was supposed to be me questioning Triple R because he don't run a channel. I messaged him. I'm like, damn, they on your neck, bro. You want to address it? So basically, he would have to answer for the shit he said, and that's what I had him up there for. So now, I think you were thinking we were teaming up on an attack mode, like it's the Lakers versus the Nuggets. No, it was supposed to be a one-on-one, and he was supposed to explain himself. That's it. I don't know how I became a bitch out of that. That shit threw me off because I've been fucking with you for years, dude. So now I'm like, damn, Adrian done called me a bitch in my chat for what? For asking this nigga why he said what he said? But that's why you add that sample part. You add that sample part to try to justify you calling me a bitch. Just know that you was wrong for attacking me because I ain't do nothing to you. And then we can talk about Triple R.
All right, cool. Do you know why I was right to do that? The things I heard you say, right, and we supposed to be friends, right? About Chuck wasn't quick enough to delete that. I went and downloaded that. When I heard shit like that, I'm like, cool. I'm glad I called this dude a bitch.
Yeah, we was banging though.
Yeah.
We're acting like this is
No.
What did I say before you called me a bitch?
Let me talk.
You can talk. Just say what I said.
No,
before
okay.
You called me a bitch.
Listen, I'm dealing with the realness. Listen, forget all that. I'm dealing with the realness of it now. I'm dealing with the realness of it. Let's not talk about the petty shit. Let's talk about the realness of it, right? When that shit happened, me and you was cool. We was friends, right? Cool. I got caught doing something cool. The sisters came over, said, yo, delete that. You decided to go and download me, bro.
Download it? Man, that was all fucking cat, bro. I ain't got your no videos of you, bro.
Okay.
We was arguing, bro. Now
So why do you say things like this? Why would you say things like this? Why would you say things like this?
The reason why I said it because you came on my platform calling me a bitch. The gloves is off at that point, man. Bro, you heard as soon as I read it, you heard me cut somebody off and say, no, man, they was talking about something completely different. I said, hold on, man, let me swing on this dude. I'm a bitch, and then I went off, bro. And then it turned into an argument. So now I'm gonna try to cut you, just like you trying to cut me. You up on bro, damn Jay, you a lap dog. You like you ain't got no backbone. La 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 la. So we're both saying the worst thing we can think of to say, sort of like a chicken and nigga argument. You know how it goes. So now we spazzing out. All I'm saying is, why was I a bitch for that to even get drawn out? You never will explain that, dog.
Listen,
You
like
can't
I,
explain it because I ain't do nothing to you.
what do you mean I can't? Of course I can explain it. You was
All
moving
right,
like a
go
bitch,
ahead.
bro. Listen, when you
Shake
come to,
hands and make up. Come on, guys.
you know
Really.
what?
No,
Listen, for
we
real, Kimmy,
made
Kimmy, no,
up. I'm saying
Kimmy, for real.
I was
Listen,
just on your channel 2 hours before that. I was just on your, or was it the day before? And then a dude was saying, I said, nigga, all my life. I said, instead of disrespecting your panel, I said, I'm out of here, Adrian. You was like, all right, peace out, drop. And then I dropped down. We was cool. Wasn't nobody, none of that. For that, I could have been mad at you off top for that, but the way dude was handling me up there. So I got the barking at him because he was actually saying basically no sympathy for what happened to my people, basically. But he was just saying it like it's just a word. Blah, 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 blah. And he knew what I was saying by the meaning of that word. So then it had got kind of twisted. I left down off the thing. I'm like, man, I gotta holler at Triple R. What do you mean about infiltrating? Hey, Adrian on your neck, bro. What you want to say your side to it? Because right now, basically, you in a body bag and you don't have a channel, you might want to voice your opinion. He came up late. By this time, it's an open panel. You not knowing the whole show was supposed to be about him addressing what you did. I didn't download your video to play it, to say, here's what he said about you. I wasn't trying to kick up dust. I really wanted to know, okay, because I deal with a lot of people that don't like white people. I deal with a lot of white people that love black people. So when you got like 200 aboriginals, you know how much slack I catch? You know how much slack I catch, bro? So I can imagine the slack you catching. But it's not
no,
from the
I
whole
don't,
community, it's from
no.
people.
I don't get slack from my people about the color people I hang. You may do, I don't. Let's get that right. I don't get slack from my people.
You
I
just
see,
said they
no,
was
no.
attacking you.
Yeah,
You just said they was
your
attacking
folks,
you.
not my folks, your folks, not my folks. My folks
It's
don't
all the
attack
same
me.
community,
No,
man.
it's no, it's not. It's a whole different thing over here. And listen, it's
It's
been said
not.
already.
Yeah,
It's a
Europe's
whole different
different than the
thing.
States, drop.
It's a whole different thing. We get along with all different creeds and races, all of that under the sun. Clearly, you lot don't.
Right.
Say
Now,
drop.
Bro
Hold
Sanchez
up.
should get listen, Bro
Hold,
Sanchez should get along with everybody. When you talking an Aboriginal community, you got to understand what they talking about. So if the Aboriginal said, it's sort of like talking to a KKK member. Bro, they standing on that, bro. I ain't got nothing to do with that. That's my whole point. So for me to be a bitch was crazy to me, dog. I looked in the chat and it just pissed me off, dog. Everything else after that, that's what happened. But everything that started it was you calling me a bitch for no reason. You just came in the stream and thought we was dragging you and we wasn't. So you prejudged it. And you
What?
saw Philly OG and you was like, fuck them niggas. And he was on Sanchez shit. Fuck them niggas. Dark Chameleon wanna slap me for going on Sanchez shit. I don't give a fuck. I go where I wanna go, move how I wanna move. So now I'm just saying I wasn't supposed to be disrespected at all. That's all. Now you could have called Triple R, whatever, Philly, whatever. Y'all could have did whatever. But by me being Phil Donahue, I got attacked. By me being Steve Wilco, I got attacked. For me being Jerry Springer, I got attacked. And no apology was all right, cool. But my bad, y'all got it. I'm gonna just drop the whole subject. Shout out to London, man. Because you know we all got all our people the same, London, man. Especially the back chats, the messengers. You know our people the same. That's why the ladies would be like, man, hold on, y'all tripping. So we ain't even allowed to beef. I just don't know how I was a bitch in the situation. That's all. I take back what I said. No, I don't got no videos of you. I was attacking you by words. You were attacking me by words, and that's what happened. Other than that, man, we cool, bro. That shit under the bridge. But y'all got it.
actually, I wanted to touch on something that y'all glossed over real quick that kind of disturbed me a little bit. You think that this community is separate from the whole pie? Like this sector is a different sector from, let's say, either my sector or Drop's channel, or or my channel, or anybody in the conscious community, like you think this is a different type of avenue? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, I would say so.
I would say that is an absolute play that they want, that the people that you speak upon want you to do, right? Because by doing that, it's trying to separate yourselves from the actual pie is what's being done in reality. That's a bad look. That's a bad play. It doesn't um, register with unity. It it it
It's
it
still
it, 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 it,
separation.
it causes more confusion, and it causes more division, and it causes more fights. It causes more things that's negative than good. There's nothing good that can really actually come from that,
I know
that you
this,
can
Dart.
really sick your
And
teeth
just
into.
so
Hold on, hold
everyone
I'm
on.
just
knows,
I'm just
yeah, just so everyone knows, YouTube is in place for that. YouTube is here for
Of,
this.
of
So every
course,
time we fight our fellow people, you have just played their game perfectly. That's all
of
I gotta
course.
say.
Hey, but hey, Dart, listen, Dart, I'm fully on board with what you're saying, right? But I see it in the community. I'm not saying divide us. There's other people saying it, and it's not from my side. You go back and listen to this thing that I just dropped the other day. People are saying I'm not willing to build with them. White folks, I'm not willing to build with them. You're willing to build with them. So there's people that's not willing to build with other different colors of people, but they meant to be the woke people, the people, F&P, flat. So what are we talking about? My sector's cushy, bro. We're willing to work with anyone like-minded who's not on this bullshit. But clearly,
hold
there's
up,
people
hold
over
up,
that side. That's that
hold
shit.
up, hold up, brother.
You
Hold
got
on.
it. You got it. You got it. You got it.
Check this out. Check this out. That is the construct that I was talking about earlier. That just continuously keep getting glossed over, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because just all right. See, what the problem is what is this? Um, People want to be racist. Why? Because they were taught that. Who taught them how to be that way? That is taught behavior. Okay? Like when you get two kids together, they don't look at the kids and be like, I'm not playing with him because he's white. He like, nah, he got the ball. Like, let's go. Like, they don't give a fuck about none of that shit. And for us to be adults and still be hindered with the same fucking issue, it just further pushes the ball down the street. That's why I already know we've been defeated. Everybody's a victim. Like your victimhood is no better than my victimhood. Like everybody's under the same fucking thumb. And it's just silly to sit here and argue about stupid shit like color and the fact that you from across the pond, or the fact that you got a white girlfriend, or the fact that you got a black girlfriend or a black boyfriend, or whatever. Like, it's stupid. It's the stupidest shit. I've been screaming this shit since I was a fucking kid.
Facts.
Like I don't get how grown people always fall under the manipulation of things that are taught. They do it within books. They do it on TV. We talk about this shit, but yet we still talk the same bullshit. It's mighty funny to me. When I started bringing this shit to the table, they were calling me, "Oh, you're caping for the white folks." I'm sitting here going, "I ain't caping for the fucking nobody." "Oh, well, I just love my people." I love my people too. I love all people. What's wrong with
Mm-hmm.
that?
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Charles,
this
I think Christos is in the
Mm-hmm.
back. I think
it,
Christos is in the background.
it's the weirdest energy out here, bro. And it's not your job to change somebody else's mind, but it is your job just to look at the motherfucker and be like, all right, you got it, bro. Let a bitch be dumb. That's what I do. I can't change a motherfucker mind. I can't I can't give you this energy. I can't teach you it's wrong to hate women. I can't teach you that. I think it's wrong to put any
It
gender
won't.
on any pedestal above any other pedestal. But you let motherfuckers out here tell it, oh well, the woman is more important than the man. And I'm sitting here going, well, in some aspects, yeah, she is, but not when you talk about the whole pie. There is no gender more important than the other. It takes two to make a fucking baby. Like, if you don't be racist, does racism actually exist? Racism actually exists? You
Nope.
just play your part.
That's
You
it.
know? Yeah.
That's
Like,
it.
I can't save the world, but I can save mine,
Mm.
by raising my kids. And if everybody take care of their responsibility, wouldn't the world be a better place? If everybody
Yes,
just handle
without
their fucking
judgment.
business.
Hey,
Without any kind of judgment. You cannot assume what cards someone else was dealt in their life, period. Not everyone, a lot of people are under the assumption everyone got dealt the same hand. No, they did not, period. So who is someone to judge what other situations someone is in, what they had experienced in life, how their family is, what they went through, what money, homeless, I don't care, jail, rehab, it don't matter. We are not supposed to judge each other. Period.
hey, Dot,
That's a good
I've
point.
seen what you've been through over there. Anyway, I've seen what you've been through, and even though these people meant to be, your people, I've seen the way how, your people treat you. So that even speaks volumes to me when I hear them say the slightest thing to me, even if they say foreigner, it speaks a lot of volumes when they say certain things to me. Because I see the way how they treat their so-called people on their land and who's in their community. So I'm not blind to these things.
And just for the record, can't nobody do or say anything to me to hurt my feelings. You know what I'm saying? Cause my shit thick
Mm-hmm.
as fuck. And check
Mm-hmm.
this out. I move the way I want to move because that's the way I want to move. And there's nothing nobody could do or say that can change that, right? So cause look, I understand what people are trying to do to me because they can't find any dirt on me. My shit's like Teflon. So you gonna have to try to dox me. You're gonna have to try to find out what I do in real life to actually really try to hurt me, but you can't because I pay my bills. See, when you pay your bills, can't nobody fuck with you. It's the people that don't pay
Well,
their bills that got the issue, right? Because I may have all the fucking answers, but you will never know because you're too busy focusing on some bullshit somebody else told you about Dark Camellia. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
like if you pick my brain, if you wanted to know some real shit, that's all you got to do. If you ask the right questions coming at me, depending
Hey,
on the way you ask the question, you will get the answer,
there
and
you
you might
go.
be surprised. You
Uh,
feel me?
yeah, oh hell yeah, I felt every bit of that last bit, bro. That was dope. Cause that's like me. Folks can come up and chill with me. Say what you really want to say to me, and I'll tell you what I'm really thinking. No one really even does that to me, but they just go off by the people on my panel or the people I have in the chat room. But they don't really talk to me directly. They just see me building with, different people, and then their mind's already made up. Their minds are made up. I can't do everything. But let me jump down because I see some people want to jump up here. So let's rotate a bit. Hey, Chuck, much love. I'm gonna jump down in the chat room. I'm gonna jump down in
Peace
the
on the
chat.
midnight. You're good.
Don't people
There's
want
a
to come
spot
up?
open. Chris wanted to come up, but Kimba jumped down for him to come up, but he left. So if
You
And I
anybody
know,
wants
could
to come up, there's a spot. Oh, go ahead.
I could jump down at any point too, but I do feel like I have some added value through my own experience. It's just that sometimes it's like there's so much emotion behind the racist psyop in North America. Like it's really charged, and I only know it from being the silent ally long before George Floyd was weaponized, before the infiltration of Antifa into Black Lives Matter, whether they were set up together, was evident. Like I was the silent sister marching in the streets with people who didn't even know I existed, right? Like, so, and it's part of what I'm healing from is like my silence being weaponized, right? Like, and then you realize it's actually innate. Like, it's not innate, but it's been since birth, that both all sorts of voices have been silenced, but like it's just making me think of, I know I read it to London once, but I was just sitting here and thinking about, what I wrote when I sort of woke up from being woke, which a lot of what you guys are talking about has to do with that. But I also really, until this moment, hadn't put in my feet in someone else's shoes, understanding like how targeted this propagandized media attack has been to bring this divide about, now. And I know that like I wrote something pretty powerful about it. I've read it to London. I would read it here if people wanted me to, but I do think that it's hard for people to understand that there have been people sitting there, all along, quietly at the back of rooms while I watched some of my, I call them like I was their bestie silenced ally, but they got weaponized and they got so angry. I still check in on them and they're so angry, and I never said anything before. Why would I say anything now, But here we are, right? Like, so, it's just like, I know my mom was taught in school in the 50s, she's born in 1947. In the 50s, she was like 8 years old when they brought in other 8-year-old First Nations children to stand at the front of white classrooms while they're still scooping, right? And separating by color, the Louis from the Lewises, even though now they don't even know the Louis and the Lewises were ever related, right? Like, and this little kid was taught to tell my mom what their grandparents had done to their grandparents. And, and people are like, well, the little kid didn't lie. No child stands in front of a group of other children and talks that shit, talks politics, like it's a psyop, right? It's extensive and it goes all the way back, so I didn't mean to get too emotional there. I just, it is, right? It's like, it's like, I was friends with a guy who did time for second-degree murder, and all his language was all, the language even of his parole officer. Everybody talked about the day of his offense. Nobody ever talked about like, the collective absence of Crystal. Like, not that we're there to re-traumatize anybody, but to understand that we have to get back to a position of where we, I think, once would have understood that the loss of anyone, from the collective is a tragedy, right? And that we would have felt someone else's loss, whether we knew them or not, and whether they looked like us or not, I don't know. But I did write something pretty powerful that, that talks a lot about all the different psyops that were pulled on us to get us to this point today where someone might look at me and, and be really angry based on what they think I don't know what happened, but I do, anyways, I yield.
I would like to say something you touched on as far as death go. Like, one thing I learned about death is like I used to get really, really, really sad when people started dying around me. Like in like I'm gonna say about 4 or 5 years ago, I had a lot of people within my immediate family, which I would consider like a lot of the elders. They started dropping like flies, like left and right, right? Like from my nephew to my mom to my father to my godfather to my favorite uncles. These are all older people, right? People who I would look at to be like my elders, I feel like I'm immune to death on a certain level because I have a higher understanding. of death, right? Because I looked at it as these people are passing on to something better, you know, coming. The energy never dies. The energy coming back full fold, right? So when you have an understanding of that, you won't be sad when people pass away. Yeah, you're probably gonna miss them, but also you got to remember that their energy ain't gonna pass with them. You know, they still here. You know, like I don't know, not to be spiritual or nothing, but when my mom passed, I accumulated some different kind of energies that I didn't have before. So I kind of feel like she passed something to me that I use quite frequently and I use it daily, right? I don't know, it's some supernatural kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? Not to scare y'all or nothing, you know, like, but you know, it is what it is. You know, you can look
Hey,
at it as a good thing. You could, you know, you can go. I yield the floor, bro. You got it.
respect, dog. I wanted to clear something as well because something that Job said the other day, Job. You might not be aware or you may be aware, but I'm pretty sure you are aware because you referenced it, right? With Ian, those We Are Awake news dudes, right? Real quick. Hey, respect to Chuck. Um I'm not even sure if you really knew how that went, right? Because a lot of people don't know. They just know one side, the side that Ian's been screaming, right? And I noticed victims get the most point on this metaverse, right? So let me tell you something how it really went real quick. So you don't have to be, running around screaming at narrative anymore that, it was me that started everything, right? What's that, Chuck?
No, go ahead.
Cool. Obviously, we're on two
My
different
bad.
time zones. We're on two different time zones. London's on, 5 hours ahead of you guys, 6 hours, depending where you are, even a bit more, right? I've gone to sleep. I've woken up for messages from, Ian from We Are Awake News talking about Shan TV. He's been on Shan TV and OG Leo, and you can see these people talking this racist talk, right? So obviously now, I was riding with Ian at those times, but keep in mind we're in two different time zones. He's hit me up when I've woken up, so that means he's seen them talking in real time while I'm sleeping. So he sent me messages saying, this is what it is. I've replied back to his messages. Cool. I've hit up Shan TV, gone onto Shan TV's channel, sorted it out like gentlemen. Your boy Ian didn't like it that I went onto Shan TV's channel and sorted it out, right? There was people there that can vouch. They see me go in there and sorted it out. He didn't like that, Sir Drop. He took it as I went behind his back and done something with the enemy, basically. Like, cool. I saw it different. I saw I was squashing it and I was bringing peace to the community. He went behind my back and done a stream saying he got snaked by one of his friends, meaning me. He thinks I snaked him, went behind his back and squashed it with Shan TV. If that's what you want to call a snake, then that's a funny definition of a snake, someone that's stopping beef, right? So I didn't like that. I took a shot at him. He took a shot back at me. And like you said, right, Sir Drop, if you haven't got a panel or a channel, people shouldn't be doing this to you. I had no channel, right? These people were dragging me for like 3 weeks, bro. I had no channel. Keeping this in mind, I had nothing. Like you said, they shouldn't be dragging people with no channel. It's not right. They've all got channels. Ian's, Lovesays, Sunkiss. All these people are dragging me, right? And I was the fucking one that's stopping this. So people don't really know that part, of the whole Ian thing. How it really started from Shan TV. How he got his knickers in the twist because I went to squash it with Shan TV. A lot of people know this. Even the other Sunkiss knows from Shan TV. But I don't even hear her talk about this. So it lets me question everyone's agenda over there about me when it comes towards me. No one ever speaks the truth when it comes to me. They just fill in their little bits. But like I said, it all started from Shan TV. They was upset that I squashed it with Shan TV and it spiraled from then. They wanted to start the smoke from then.
So that's how we got all the way to Zen, whatever happened to Synthetic Warrior, whatever his name is, because it had
Z,
went all
that's
the
my
way
dude.
into
That's my
yeah. So
dude.
then it turned into Z because I met Z through Ian. And when I tuned back in, them two communities was beefing. I'm like, wow. I normally see it on the black communities, not even playing a race card, but I normally don't see it. I normally don't see it like that, where they was going personals, talking about people's jobs, talking about the retarded kid. Well, no, don't let me say retarded kid, because that's one of my favorite YouTubers. I wish y'all would have left the little kid alone and wait till they was 18. But anyway, you know the crazy one. Yeah, yeah. But anyway, Synthetic was catching a lot. Z was catching a lot of wreck from that, right? But I don't know who that was, but it was somebody that kept keeping it up. It was damn, what's his name? It might even been Shan. I don't know. So I hit the panel and I'm like, hey, uh uh Ian, I met Z through you. This was the last time I ever saw Z live, and it probably was on We Are Awake's channel. This the last time we saw Z. I think he just hung it up after that stream. But I came up there, I'm like, man, I know y'all two. I know y'all two cool with each other. It seemed like it's the entourage that's separating the communities. Because there's always placement of people that's not gonna let it be harmony. It's always gonna be like three people out of 300. I mean, they're gonna always make sure it's us versus them, and that's their job, man. So that they whoever whatever that beef was, cause Z and Ian was supposed to combine the communities instead of dividing them. Once they got to beefing with each other, I don't even be seeing Ian go live no more. But you know, it is what it is. Y'all got it.
You see what that disease out there drop, that disease I be speaking about? Racism is a disease, man. It really is. And it's just another way to divide people. And it was going on before we was here. So the people that came before us couldn't even navigate through this landmass to figure out what's being done to people. They do it through books, TV, and all that other good shit, through music, everything, right? So, so for me to sit here and say, like, for me being, let's call me, I'm dark. I don't even like calling myself black, right? So
Hey,
I'm dark. So for me to sit here and be like, nah, to another dark person, dude, that ain't the way to go. Just because that that particular white person or clear person or whatever narrative you want to put on it, right? Because it ain't my job to just because that person look different from you, you want to try to treat them the way they treat you. Cool. But if that person ain't being that way towards you, there's no reason for you to just do that to other people, right? That's how you should do it. Like I'm not a racist, but if I encounter racist people being racist towards me, then I'm gonna be racist back to them. I'm gonna meet you with the same energy you're gonna give me. And that's the way everybody, I'm not trying to tell you how you should move, right? But I think that will help everybody if everybody move that way. You know what I'm saying? Like don't be fucking going off on all white people just because they white, or all black people just because they
Yeah,
black.
that's stupid. And here's how you know, hell yeah, that's facts, Dark Chameleon. And that's stupid for people to do that. Is that my phone? Okay,
nah, that,
yeah. Here's how you know it's taught, right? Because it's taught over here. Racism is taught, right? Here's how they taught it. Say you got 5 kids and you keep giving the one kid Christmas to make the other 4 kids resent the other kid. The other kid ain't got nothing to do with what's going on. They just reaping it, right? So that's the tool they use to teach it, right? Now, if you notice, we're the only people in America. If you go anywhere else, I don't care what color you is, they're gonna call you an American. They're not gonna call you a color. Only over here they use the term white and black. Bro, Anywhere else, you what you are. You're an American. You're this. You're that. You're that. But over here, we get mixed up in white and black, like it ain't 50 Shades of Gray. But see, me personally, I can't see color. I was asking a cat, right? He was like, "Yeah, this is for all my people, right?" I'm like, "All right, cool." Say my son come up with his kids and his wife. Is they allowed on your reservation? And I said the kids is mixed and his wife is white. He said he can come, but the kids and the wife can't. All right, then I said, all right, what would make you think he not gonna say okay and not come and come take over your shit? Or what would make you think what now me personally, say I ran something like that. Only such and such type of people allowed, right? And you come to me with your family and they mix and you got a white husband or a white wife, right? If I let you in and you leave your family behind, I assassinate you. Soon as we take you in, I'ma kill you for you even leaving your family to come deal with us. Bro, I would never leave family for no type of movement, dog. So by me having a half sister, four mixed grandkids, you think I'ma tell my grandkids fuck your mama? See, these are the things people don't think about. It's family first, soul second, everything else irrelevant, man. You can be whatever color. I'ma know if you evil or not. Period. I'm not gonna look like, oh, there go a white guy, oh, there go a chink, oh, there go a nigger, oh, there go a spick. I'm not gonna do none of that. I'm gonna look and say, man, what's up with dude? Or what's up with baby? Well, let me read these people right quick. Oh, they cool, they cool, they cool. That motherfucker right there. Who knows what color he gonna be when I spot that rotten that. They coming on, man. Lucifer comes in every creed. It's nothing to do with a skin tone or a melanation or a pigmentation. I bet your brain the same color. I bet your liver the same color. I bet your heart the same color. I bet your bones white. So quit acting like you ain't got white in you. I bet your blood the same color. I bet your intestines. I bet. So why we dealing with the exterior and not the interior is beyond me. But y'all got it.
Because that's what I was been trying to say the whole time, bro. It's like that because they want people to be divided, and that's the quickest and the easiest way to chop us up is to get
Yep.
you focused on how a person looks rather than to look at the person for who they are. Like just cause, man, listen,
Hey, Dot, hold on, Dot. Let me.
hold on,
Hey,
a motherfucker who gonna kill me, I guarantee you, his ass ain't gonna be white. Go ahead, you.
yeah, I don't even want to sound like the devil's advocate, right? I know this might sound very effed up, what I'm gonna say, but it's like division sometimes might not even be a bad thing when I see people's, behaviors and what they're really keeping up with. I don't think we should all come together to some degree because, some people's truth is not my truth, you know, especially when I hear people throwing that term around loosely in the, this community. I'm a truther. I'm a truther. There's people in jails that is rapists, pedophiles, whatever you want to call them, but they got some form of truth, right? They know we're still getting poisoned and all these things. Right? I'm not willing to stand with people that, it's who's not on the same wavelength, vibration, all of that shit. If it means they're my skin folk or whatever. So to some degree, I'm down with, the line in between, but depending who's on the other side, then I'm like, yeah, see you later. It's good that you're over there. Now I can really get to work.
See
Are
what
you
you
with
just
them?
said? What you just said right there is
Mm-hmm.
perfectly exactly what the people in power want. People who set the system up, people who created the system. Right there, what you just said, that's exactly what they want. See,
No,
it really.
hey,
Hold up,
Dark,
hold
let me
up,
say,
hold
let me give
on.
it right to you, Dark. Let me give it right to you because I think you missing what he wasn't talking about color though. He
I
wasn't
know,
Exactly.
saying,
I
all right,
know.
cool, you got it.
But what I was trying to say is like, you know how you had just previously said that that damn, why is my phone ringing? Anyway, I'm not gonna answer it. You remember how
You
you
got to
had
mute.
just how
You
you
got to
had just
mute.
said. Remember how you had just said that America is the only place, the United States is the only place where people are identified by color, right? And you go overseas and
Yeah.
they don't do that, right? Right? Why?
Who?
But the
I didn't
thing,
say that.
no, Drop said that. But
Oh,
see,
okay.
the thing is the thing that we have the same battle though. Yeah, they may not be susceptible to that shallowness play, but they still being ran by some sort of government, some sort of play on uh your likeliness, your soul, the spirit, through religion and tactical, ways that we don't even understand yet. You know what I'm saying? A play on the energy, right? So that's still being done, regardless. Yeah, we may be getting played with on the skin deep shit, but we also understand the class system probably better than them, even though we're dumb enough to fall for that trick. You know, I'm not from overseas. I'm pretty sure Linda Man can tell me what is the play over there? What's the number one play over there? If it ain't skin, what is it? You got it, bro.
Yeah, to be honest, I think I said enough, really. I'm gonna jump down. I got a few
All
things to do.
right,
But salute to the
all
panel
right,
and
man.
chat, man.
You could have answered the question before you leave.
Do you know what? I thought that was rhetorical, bro. I really did.
No, he was saying, what's the play they running in UK? Over
If
here, they
if it
running the
ain't color,
play.
I know I heard it, but I thought it was rhetorical. Sorry, bro. All right, cool. If it ain't color, it's probably nothing.
So yeah, y'all say
Ageism. If anything.
that's a
Classism?
good topic.
Well,
Would it,
no, I
is
wouldn't
it
even say
classism?
classism to a degree because there's a lot of the so-called suit wearers and stuff. They don't even like. They don't. They would rather come down to this class to kind of mingle with us. Like it's different vibes in London. It's different. It's not like that unless you're in the House of Commons, then they might think ill of you, right? But the normal people, we don't do that type of stuff anymore. The era's moved on from that stuff. The era's moved on. We're
All right,
past that.
let me ask you this before you leave. Is it like, cause over here we know how it is. Is it harder for a person of color over there than it is for a Caucasian, or is it exactly the same? You get fair shake.
Well, from my experience, everything's equal, even in the building industry, prison systems. Everything seems to be equal. Matter of fact, I think in the last few years, I see a lot of more um, successful young black people in the UK, whether it's through music or designing, whatever you want to call it. I see a lot of that coming through the UK. And if it was more of a racist thing, a lot of these people be getting blocked, but they're making money out of this stuff. So there's a lot of young black people making money in the UK, and it shows through the music and everything else.
So in y'all slums, is it more Caucasians or black people? If I took all the black people money, well, I don't like using the word black. If I took all the dark color UK people, right, and then used the same amount of number of the white UK people, would it be even or is it lopsided?
I don't know those numbers, to be honest. I couldn't give you those numbers. I don't
Well,
know. But you got to
and
remember as well. Oh, go on, Bex.
I was just gonna say, if we don't figure this stuff out, people would understand that in a homogeneous culture, right? In a culture where everybody does look the same, you would find that the racism rebrands itself as classism, right? So classism is actually the root of all racism, So it's, I know that people can be like, no, we would share, we would bring everything to the table, and we would, the First Nations here in the west coast of North America. My friend's looking into her heritage, and they realized she learned why the casino started on First Nations property was because the First Nations people here had a potlatch system, which we now call a potluck, where we all bring food to the table. But actually what it was everyone brought everything to the longhouse, right? And anyone who didn't have, they would just play these games where you could, through the lottery, win, take some of the excess home if you needed it, let's say, and there could have been a financial system backing that. How do we know? We know there's all these buildings here. They could have looked all one color because that's what we're telling, or we could have all been intermixed at that point too, But my point is back to the whole, like, I come from a really big, white family with a doctor father, right? That since I was a child, and there was only 4 of us to begin with, and then 4 later. Again, it's very rare in my culture, and especially in sort of, North American white culture, 2 family, blah, blah, blah. My dad had 2 sets of kids, 2 wives, and there's 8 of us. But the reverence that people hold, that that first held my dad as a doctor for, like the reverence that people had for my dad in his role, just as a physician, let alone being in a community where the majority of people were originally, set out there or reset out there, whatever the deal is, where all of my class was mostly white, but we always had we had all sorts of people mixing. My point is that if people did get a chance to build their own lands together and have some sort of segregation that they thought was the answer, I think that those people that are still touting the first story are going to be or whatever has them going there doing that, they're going to protect their own classist interests once they get there in the first place, and they'll realize that they were part of the problem, which I know we're kind of preaching. I didn't mean to like bring it back because I think we're all on the same page here. Everyone here, realizes that that this racism is a disease that's been put upon us.
Definitely, I agree.
Do y'all remember the lady that did the experiment? She was a white lady. Did the experiment on the class, and she all the blue
Jane
eyes was
Elliott.
over
Jane
here.
Elliott.
Yeah,
Jane Elliott.
yeah, and she showed us classism because they was all the same color, and they started resenting each other once she pointed out their differences. It naturally did it. She showed one group more love than she showed the other one, and then them 2 groups got the dividing and beefing, and it was just a psychological experiment, and that's how they plan us. That's how they plan that division card. It's sort of like when you look up the ocean meeting the seas, right? And it's one side, you can Google it. But when the waters collide, it's a line that go all the way down. You got the fresh water and the salt water, and it's 2 different colors, and they just clash, and they will never mix. But it's sort of like almost human nature. Put it like that. The part I don't like is when people act on the radicalness. Okay, cool. I'm gonna give you a story right quick. One of my best friends, man, he passed away. Shout out to Jason, right? All right, he was a white guy. I'm using colors to get through the story. He a white guy, right? One of my best friends, a dude with tattoos on his face, the stereotype black guy, the stereotype rapper, pull up on him, shoot him in the face, kill him, take off with his car, right? All right, cool. his mom never looked at me a different way. Do you know that let me know that's real? It had nothing. She had all right to say, fuck all you niggas. Y'all motherfucking hood ass niggas killed my son. She never did that. To me, you gotta look at the soul of a person, man. You can't look at the skin tone. That shit don't mean nothing, man. Nothing at all. It's just blankly stupid. It's like, okay, so cool. You need a kidney transplant. Don't put that white man kidney in my. I ain't. That's just stupid. You see what I'm saying? But they do it with every facet in life. It ain't just color. We can get off the color because that should be too touchy. We can just talk about my team, the Lakers. Man, we could talk about my favorite TV show. We can talk about the top 5 movies. Long as we don't agree, it's a point of division. Period. And they base the whole world on that. Oh, you got the old bands. Oh, you got an apartment, I got a house. Oh, I went to college, you didn't. Oh, you got long hair, I don't. Oh, you black, I'm white. Oh, you got a shih tzu, I got a pit. Oh, and it's always they give us choices, but we not knowing the choices is the division. That's not free, but we dumb as hell, bro. Including me, bro. And we gotta figure this shit out, man.
Yeah, them racist people left Europe, excuse me, and came here. And a lot of things they tell us is in reverse. First, I must apologize earlier. I thought my mic was muted when I was feeding my cats, but it wasn't my fault. Um, but it's just crazy how if you look at Europe and the people over there, they don't use the white and black. They don't. To me, it seems I don't know the entire history. You know, my great grandparents left Germany and Poland. He came here in like 1898 or something. But I mean, if Europe is really that racist, they would still be that way today. But from what I
Yeah,
hear, they're not. So maybe the
no,
people that run this country left there so they could come here and do their racist garbage. And this country was destroyed when them people came here and took over so-called power. But I don't think it's just white people. I think every so-called race or whatever label people want to throw on it has misled their own so-called people. You got white people, so-called white people, black people, even Spanish people, because there's a whole bunch of different Spanish people. You get the
Hey,
picture.
hey,
Um,
Chuck. Hey,
they're
Chuck.
all.
Not. Oh, go ahead. My bad. I thought you was done. Sorry. Go ahead.
I just want to say to end it that we've all been misled and lied to, and there is people in every so-called race that teaches lies and division to the people, and I think they're a part of the problem. You know, they act like they're not, and they turn us against each other. But all in all, they are part of the problem, and that's what they're paid or put in that position to do is keep us arguing and fighting with each other and divided. Because if this country was united, they wouldn't get away with none of the shit they're pulling. But I'll leave it at that.
What I was gonna say is I know the answer. I don't want to sound like a smart ass or anything, but I figured this shit out, right? I don't really freely like give out the information because I feel like people uh they don't listen anyway. So I decide to just keep it to myself. But I tell you guys, this is just my opinion. I could be wrong, but the whole thing is just about the currency. It's money. That is capitalism. That is what is the ultimate, like, you know how the lie that you think that's a lie but really ain't a lie. Money is the root of all evil. That is a fucking fact. Because Without that dollar bill, even if they go digital, it's still the same thing. They just changing the name, but it still remains the same,
Well,
right? So hold on.
I
Let me
can
get it
agree
out.
with that.
Okay, so when you invent a class system, when you have money, which ultimately is a form of racism, because you're divided by a class system, and that goes on all over the world. You can't just say the United States has a class system. It is practiced in Europe, it is practiced in Africa, it is practiced in Australia. Money dominates this landmass, and that system was created by somebody who wanted to control the people, and it works. Money is more successful than the fucking Bible if you really look at it.
it's and exactly to build on that, it's the love of money is the root of all evil, right? So actually the system of money itself created, then the classism could have been superimposed, but could have also been a spiritual test, right? Where people will do things other people will not do for money, at the lowest level and at the highest level of betrayal, right? And so it's the love of money that's the root of all evil. I agree. I'm totally in agreement that the system itself would be abolished if there was, my background's economics. I studied it to try and figure out how we got here, but my point is that it's that love of money that actually might have caused the classes to sort themselves out, right?
It go like, but look at it like this: when you're saying classism, it's still gonna break down to a barrier of okay, what classes is which. It's like this, like we had probably when I was growing up, I'm gonna say 6 people, right, that really was doing their thing, really, had it going on, and the rest of them really was just like starving, right? But then on the other note, right? My homie who was Caucasian, all of them had money. The sister, the aunt, the uncle, the great grand, everybody had money. It wasn't just a couple people sprinkled in the family. So the family dictated that class. Now, as we look at it, how many people was in that class that was this? This is why the envy kicks in and the jealousy kicks in. It's like, man, bro, I just want to be like Leave It to Beaver, man. Where I gotta be good times, and that sets in the mind of a lot of people, man. And that's where the resentment come in at, and that's what the government's tool is. Let's separate it by economy and economics. Let's make some people do better than other people. They even divide each race by class, like you said. They would take both race. Well, okay, now we're gonna divide y'all by class also. But it's very few of my people in that class. But y'all got it.
The reason why I use money as that is the number one denominator of all problems, right? The reason why I say that is because I'm not for communism, right? But just look at Russia. That's a communist country. They don't have American problems. They don't deal with classism. They don't deal with capitalism. Everybody has a base financially. No one's above the people. No one's above nobody else. If you work for them, you got a roof over your head and you are allowed to feed your family, and you will have just enough to feed your family. That's the system they have over there. They don't have a dominance of people, of rich people and poor people. No, you're gonna have, everybody has the same shit. You know what I'm saying? You know how oh, I want the brand new this or the brand new that. They don't play that shit over there. No, all y'all gonna have the same fucking shoes. You see where I'm going with this. That's why
I
that's
do.
why
I I just see this greed, coming from a family that had wealth, and my father was the executor of his father's estate, and he had a 22-year-old undiagnosed Asperger's brother, genius, right? He kept that money. He had a sister. He has a sister whose son had an accident that left him a vegetable. He was under the water for 45 minutes, frozen water in a car accident, and they revived him. And my dad didn't use any of that. One of the other sister backed out of being the executor, and my dad didn't do anything to help his siblings except for say that he was sitting on land that he gave more of to the government to develop than at the point that he did sell it 25 years later in a divisive family. My father has so many children, and so many of those children have been so successful that my brothers would go out into the world and sprinkle money all over South America to make themselves feel good, and then come dangle some sort of carrot in front of my eyes, thinking that they're gonna, they're obviously in rebellion with their parents or whatever. Like, the picture may be painted on the outside. Someone could say, like, my family had, obviously they did. And my grandfather was in Parliament under Diefenbaker. He dined with the Queen. Like, I'm not saying there wasn't some level of infiltration that was evil. My mother's side is not from that side at all. We're from this land, like, I know it. I know it in my bones. I know it in the names. I know it in the lineage. I know it in the unspoken history untold, but that being said, what I see is not the testament to me, and what success I didn't have because of what he didn't give me, that he gave my siblings, or that he didn't give his siblings, that he didn't. No, my dad has failed that test, right? He's the one that's being tested. Like, he's the one that had everything. And even my siblings have everything. If they could care less, they could care less. I got a Christmas gift 10 years ago that I needed so bad, just a tablet, and I cried so hard in front of my whole family. I was so moved by it. So their generosity, that they've never bought me a gift since. Like, these people are fucked. Okay. Like, some of them spiritually. I can look down my family cloth and know I could judge them by color, but down the other end of my cloth is my mother of the same color. Like, I have to look at what runs in their blood, what motivates them, what they would do. And they're not the worst of it,
So basically what they did, I'm gonna give it right back to you. Basically what they did was painted an illusion. And I'm gonna tell you the illusion they painted. I was in a gas station, right? White guy had on a suit and everything. He say, let me get X amount of money on pump 6, right? Me getting fooled by the illusion, I'm automatically thinking he well off. He got on a suit, and when I go outside, I saw he getting in the raggediest car, and he put like $5 in the tank. But I prejudged him all of the illusion they painted on us. Like, well, we think all y'all is well off. Not all y'all. Like, I ain't saying that. I'm saying that far as, like, if we don't know you, we think you well off, and that's the illusion the government painted to us to keep us at a division. Because right now we acting like we don't know Bubbles from the trailer park, right? We acting like all of them is Johnny Depp, just spoon fed, and that's just not true. Like, but we don't know that as my people. I'm saying, I know it. I'm talking about as my people. If we see y'all out in public and y'all not on the bus and y'all not at a church getting food, or y'all not doing something like that, and we just see you in the streets, like in a Walmart or somewhere, we think y'all well off, and that's stupid. That's stupid. It's the illusion of government paying. Go ahead.
And do you know how hungry? It's not just the government. Do you know how hungry I went before I realized I could stand in those lines? Right? Like, seriously, like how deep that deep ingrained that brainwashing goes, right? Like, and it's not even that I thought I was above it. It's that I thought I would disgrace my family by standing in it. Meanwhile, they're the disgrace, right? I mean, I was never taking their handouts in the first place. I was not that they had their hand out to give me anything, right? I'm talking about people that are just,
You should have never
well,
been that hungry. If your father's a doctor making that amount of money, they should have never left you in that position.
well, yeah, and that's where I'm going to say that, but that's where this second wife infiltration thing could have been planned, right? Like, I'm just saying, just like other forms of divorce all over the place. Like, my stepmom's been writing checks in my name since I was a child, you know, and probably telling my daddy she gave me the money, right? So
You should write a book. I guarantee you it's going to write a book because I can already hear what you said. These are
you
two
know,
worlds colliding, and a person I
well,
thought I knew changed.
I would, you know, if you guys, I know Charles done some spoken word. I did write something that I was alluding to earlier that I could share now if you guys wanted me to read it. It's not that long.
Real quick. That's the illusion school paints. Is that white people have it well off and black people were slaves from Africa and they all live in projects, and you know, it's an illusion that school paints. I mean, they even shitted on my ancestors that are German. I was confused in school. I learned more outside of school than I ever learned in them indoctrination camps by talking to people and looking up stuff myself. And I'm just grateful I grew up in the city with people from all over the world because I learned so much. And you know, my great grandparents came on a slave ship. They don't talk about that in school, the European slave ships. They make it like all white people were rich when they got here. They came here with nothing, zero, just the clothes on their back. And they don't ever really talk about that in school. I actually think ever. I've never
Adam was exiled, was literally exiled, and that's why they came. People acting like they just they was like pushed off the land, like leave. And they're like, all right, cool, we got this, y'all. And yeah, that's deep, bro. That's deep, Charles. That's deep.
And they lied to the so-called black people and told them they were from Africa and came on slave ships when they were already here. And they don't want them to know that because they don't want them claiming the fucking land. That's the biggest other lie too. But
well, and then they lied to us all too, you know, painting the Cherokee Nation, for instance, out to be, you know, not reds, you know, turning red skin, brown skin, essentially, you know, and red skin people are white skin people exposed to the elements. I mean, I hate to be the one to break it to people. I'm not trying to say that we weren't. I mean, I just know it. You know what I mean? Like, you know, and if you look back even at the World's Fairs exhibits of which were all set up to indoctrinate us into their bullshit anyway, but they couldn't hide it. They couldn't even hide it in their human zoos they had. You can see the interracial mix of different people now that we have the eyes to see it, you know?
Right, the Mexican, But look, this is why when you ask, I'm gonna give it right to you. This is why normally when you ask a Caucasian that got Indian in their blood, they always say Cherokee. Because that's a fact, what she just said. The Cherokee Indians, that's why it's a lot of different Indians. Some people make Indian a color. It's not a color.
And some of those
is a culture. Go ahead, you got it.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Some of those tribes some of those tribes on these lands spoke European tongues, what are now deemed European tongues, right? But they'd been here long, so long that they had to invent some guy that claimed them all, right? Which, you know, like I'm just saying this Christopher Columbus story, like he wasn't even here. He wasn't Dutch, was he? Because the Dutch came a long time. Anyways, doesn't matter. My point is like Ukrainians, they, you know, in the prairies, the Germanic tribes here, you know, my mom's, you know, they did some major sorting of us by skin color and by nose measurements, like all over this world, you know, to form this narrative. I think in the 40s and in the Great Wars.
There's German Indians too. Overseas, they were called pagans.
And that's not for me to like to minimize the trauma that's been, I think London did have a great, someone shared it, I think Phil shared him a video of a woman who'd done a bunch of history of slavery in the world.
Hold on.
And I think London shared the video on one of his lives that really showed, sorry, go ahead.
Does anyone
Chuck?
hear that interference or is it me?
Is it now? Is it traffic in the?
I think it's you, bro.
No, it ain't. It's every time she talks, in case that she want to mute and Dark Chameleon. But yeah, I hear the woo 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 woo.
When I,
Yeah, I hear that shit.
when Dark Chameleon on here does it. Maybe it's his because it wasn't doing it earlier, so I don't know what happened. But go ahead, Beck. Sorry.
No, that's okay. That's okay. I was just gonna say that it's these it's just the way it all comes back. Can you hear it now? Is it traffic in the background of when I talk?
No,
it's only when
Okay,
Dark Chameleon.
Okay.
Maybe it's his phone or something. I don't know.
Okay. I forgot what I was saying. But since maybe this is since we were talking.
Indians. Yeah, we was on the Indians and stuff, and then you was going into it back. I had said something about Cherokee Indians. I don't think that's what you was talking about, but I said Cherokee Indians. If you
Well,
ask
yeah, I
such
know
and
that
such,
I picked the Cherokee because I know that when I look at people in the world, like in my neck of the woods that have, that claim to be First Nations, and the people that look most like me I've ever seen in my life, right? Like, where I'm like, me too, I know. Right. And I don't mean to just hop onto something because but I've done the research into my two bloodlines, like I really have, further than my, even going back as far as these boat documents like Chuck, but even though some of those you got to take with a grain of salt, perhaps, knowing that they could have put anyone on a boat at that time in the middle of a Great Lake, taken to the middle of the Great Lake, brought them out the other side and told them they were on the ocean, they can, the trickery could run very deep on that front in terms of reassembling people on land they were already on. And they actually admit to it when they talk about segregating the First Nations people here. They actually had to take people to the big islands and to the islands from the mainland, because if you just took them somewhere else on the mainland, they could find their way home, or their parents would come find them in the schools, right? So they actually admit to purposely creating reservations far away from the lands that people were originally from, right?
Haiti, Jamaica.
How you know it's a trick? Ain't it ironic that everybody that's over here came from a boat? It's just so fake that the
Exactly.
black people came over here from a slave trade. The white people came from Christopher Columbus, and they attacked what, Mexico? So is all this Mexico then? And then when we got the bleeding in with them, then you get these native looking people. Who knows? All I know is it's ironic that everything starts from a boat. But y'all got it.
I want to say something real quick though. See, this is why I don't do the whole title thing, because these things are created to keep us separated. Like I did some research in my family, and I'm part Cherokee, right? When I go down the bloodline, right? But I brought that up to say this, like, what am I supposed to claim Cherokee now? No, that ain't, to me, that's not the way to go, because I think these things were created to keep people more divided. Why wouldn't this place is supposed to be the land of the free, right? So when people come over here, they already have a misconception of division within the division within the division, a set people of color. Like, they think we are kill people. We like Americans. We leave our baby mamas, and we don't cherish life, and we kill everything, and like that's what's being pushed overseas, right? When they get over here, they think we're super ghetto, and like even white people got a nasty look. They get a nasty representation of them. Like, oh, they're just white trash. They live in trailer parks. They don't have dental plans. They don't have no teeth. And, they're all hoarders. And, it's just a whole bunch of bullshit, right? What basically is what I'm saying is everybody getting played while the people in power sit back and just watch the show and with the Grey Poupon and shit. You know what I'm saying? While we fight over peanuts and shit, right?
Yep.
Because that's what we doing. And it's working because we falling under these narratives. Every time you call yourself black or every time you spend $1, guess what? You signing up for this shit. Every dollar you spend, meaning you submit to the rules of this place. That's why when I hear people say, well, we're divorcing the system and all that, but you want to still spend money, don't you? See, that's the L right there. As long as money exists, everybody's a motherfucking victim.
I agree.
Y'all got it. I get on a little tangent sometimes because I keep going, but y'all got it.
No, I was just going to say that I totally agree. I know that the only way to get people to understand how we don't need money would be to give everybody the biggest bank account possible. Like so that, I've said this on other streams, but if we all went to work every day and we were just like whoever's most productive makes the most money that day and they win. So Jeff Bezos wins every day for a while, but soon Jeff will realize when everybody's bank account's topped up to the same amount as Jeff's, right? And then the next day, every loaf of bread is $1 million, which whatever. Okay. Just whatever for now, it's like you got trillions. So, and suddenly every day, people would suddenly shift their time and how they spent it. Right. And I know a lot of people would be like, yeah, everyone would get lazy. No, but there's a lot of like really useless jobs in the world, One of them's the accountant running around looking for receipts for a nickel or whatever, or $5,000 or whatever, once people have money, I would only assume, like, I've never really had any and I'm grateful for that. People could say that's a choice. I did choose to take jobs that would allow me to work, as what I would do as a mother, right? Like, so I was a waitress anyways, I was just like, I always thought I'd be a mom. So I never wanted a career. But I didn't realize that even as I studied economics, that the economy had designed a world that a man couldn't provide for a family, regardless of race or creed, Anyways, I don't know where I was going with that, but just that there is a way, that as soon as you realize everyone's bank accounts are at the highest, then suddenly we could readjust everything and understand that, you could order things from Amazon without it costing anything actually. But then everyone thinks that everyone would get all greedy, and yeah, there is this greed. Anyways, I'm just saying there is a way to operate in this world without money, but for people to understand it, you have to give them a lot of money first, in my opinion.
The reason why everybody can't have money, because I ain't gonna lie to you, when you make people content, I don't care what country they in. When a person's content with the things that they have, because we're so materialistic based as a unit, as the people, that when you have everything you need, you're content. Like you said, there will be no working going on. Buildings will not get built. Cars will not get built. If people didn't play their roles in the world will no longer look the way you see it, right? Because nobody's working at McDonald's if you got money. Like, I know you're not supposed to eat the food, but just face it. There's a lot of people that do, and there's more people that do than don't. Like I heard y'all was talking about everybody waking up and all that, but listen, there's way. Listen, I'm gonna say this real nicely. There's way more people buying into all religions in the capitalist system that understand that the world is actually a flat surface and that it's not round and that they never been to the moon. Trust me, there's way more of those people out there that rock with Jesus, that rock with motherfucking the fake moon landing. For real. These people triple and quadruple us. There's so many more of them. Way more. And the only way you would know that is if you would go outside and have a conversation with somebody. Just try to drop just ask them a simple conscious question. Be like, what do you think about money or some shit? And then they'll tell you what they think and you'll be like, yep, this place is fucked up. There's so many people that buying into this shit. It's not even funny. And I got another phone call. I might come back, but I need to talk to her. Hello?
I agree with Dark Chameleon. Um, many people are going into the religion, and you know, I think that's part of the plan too. Damn, my headphones are about to die. Just like the money, the politics, the religion, the race, they hit us from so many angles, and it's all about the same thing: division, control. You know, I would like to know who planned all this out just for ha-has, because they literally hit us from every angle. They definitely planned ahead for this.
Listen, I know who started this shit, but I don't really want to get into all that because it's gonna open up a can, right? Now, I think our
Go ahead, break it down.
I'm gonna tell you who did it, right? This has nothing to do with race, but I'm going to say the Romans and the Egyptians came up with the dollar. They came up not with the dollar, but with the money system, like breaking gold down and turning them into coins, and started putting people face and idolizing the Caesar. Like he liked having his face on the coins in everybody's pocket, right? So when they started that, which I would say took place within Egypt and Roman, when they came up with the monetary money system, that is the beginning of the dollar bill. Because at first, all the currency was accounted for because they were using actual gold coins to make the money. If you wanted to know where it came from, that's where it came from. Kemet and the Romans.
Yeah. My research had also taken me past the Jews and into Rome. Not to say that those aren't, that the people at the, I'm just saying, like, everyone talks about the Kabbalists, I can't think of the word right now, but, blames that one Abrahamic faith, and there may be an aspect of that where they were leveraged in there first, but you go back, or that they were from Rome. But I know I had also found that all roads that led to Rome on that front, not the Egyptian aspect, but that makes sense.
Well, because the Romans the Romans and the Egyptian blended their cultures together, and the Romans wanted to figure out how the Egyptians got the people to work within cohesiveness, and then that's where government was created, and they just adopted their teachings, how they got the people to work together to serve the kings and the Caesars. And they created them. That's how they did it with the money system. That's how you create a slave through
Peace to
through
Marcel.
through money. You know what I mean? That's how you do. That's
Hell
I mean
yeah.
that's listen. Because if there was no money, you could not have a slave without no money. How you gonna get me to do what you want me to do? You ain't gonna get it with intimidation.
Right. It's like an
It's got
illusion, Dark Chameleon. Like, we'll give you money if you do this work, but in reality, they're just giving you a piece of paper.
right,
That's
right,
the illusion of freedom that comes with it. They just
right,
trick the person to think they're free, but they're not. You're still doing the slave work. You just think you're free. It's a whole illusion.
right. Because if you believe in the creator would look at the dollar bill as blasphemous. You mean to tell me you cut up
Mm,
one of my natural resources to create something to control one of my other natural resources? See, because people don't understand that money is made from trees. So I'm going to use this resource, which is a tree, to control the human being, which is another resource that I created.
right.
Now you see where I'm going. And then I'm going to do it with books
Yeah.
too. Other paperwork. Paper is ruling man. Where they do that at?
I've been saying this for years, Dark Chameleon. You're one of the only few people I've heard bring this up. These people have stripped us of all our so-called rights that the Creator gave us. The food from the trees that's naturally grown, the land, the water. They've took it all. And they make us slaves to get even a fraction of it.
And beyond that, ancient buildings and infrastructure below us that beyond our imagination that has been here long enough for us to have also feel like that was our claim as well. They use it now. Everything, like I'm just saying we don't have to abandon what we have and what we've built together and where the infrastructure is. Like you don't have to like sink all the cruise ships and go back to the land. You can have a system where everybody gets to go on cruises,
Right. It should be free. Just travel the
Yeah.
world.
And
We only have a little bit of time here. Maybe it wouldn't be like that if we ate real good fruits that were grown from the luscious, beautiful, clean earth. If we change our diet and got clean air and sun and all that, we probably could live to be 200. But until that happens, and religion is just imprison the mind, it has really enslaved people to think someone's going to come save them. It took their whole like mind state to save themselves. They've been stripped of any, I don't know what to call it, common sense, or their warrior spirit has been beaten into submission.
I call it the moral code. It's the moral code.
Yeah. People have like forgotten that we could solve all these problems right now, but for some reason they rather wait on this guy in the book, to come do it for them. When to me that's blasphemy in itself right there. The creators gives us, or the source creator gave us everything we need to live, and yet you still want to wait on the creator to come do everything for you. They skip right over Genesis where it says we were given this place to protect, but yet what are we protecting?
I'm gonna fall back.
Just,
I'm gonna let you end it though, bro, because you did a dope bill today. Thank you for letting me come up and drop a couple jewels. on the chat. Hopefully you can. They took my channel, by the way. They don't want to hear the truth come out of my face. You know what I'm saying? So
What do you mean they took it?
yeah, they took my
You don't
channel,
have no
bro.
more videos?
That's right.
This
They
a new
took my.
one?
Yeah, that's right. I just
I gotta
recreated
sub
my.
to it.
I just recreated my shit. So they took my shit Friday,
That's crazy.
but they're not gonna
I
stop me
appreciate
though,
you coming up, Dark.
because I already thank you, appreciate it. I already had another channel ready to go because I already see I'm under attack. So I already, if you can understand energy, you know when motherfuckers is trying to hurt you, right? So I already knew they was gonna take that channel because I was getting strikes and warnings and all kind of things. So it's all good though. It's funny though, because I'm still gonna be here. I got another channel, and I created another. I got another channel waiting for them to take this one. So you know what I'm saying. So thank you for letting me up here, bro. I'm gonna fall back.
Nice to meet you.
Oh yeah, nice to meet you
Yeah, thanks
too.
for coming
Yeah.
up.
I never
You
really
dropped a
spoke to.
lot of jewels today.
I really never spoke to her, but I've heard you speak in the because I'm always around. I may not say nothing in the chat, but I'm always listening. That's why I chose the Dark Chameleon, because I'm always camouflaged somewhere on the YouTube. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it's through having tough discussions and bringing in people that are still on, finding balance with the wisdom they've been given, and how to push past that now, and move to further truths. I think that we can't shut each other down. And I think it's hard conversations like this, or even just sitting in rooms where you feel welcome. And I know I would welcome having tough discussions. Like personally, I would love to chat with Triple R. I know that we started. I came in with a curveball on London's channel, that no one was expecting, and we didn't get to finish that conversation, which I think he might have had with me. But I don't know him well, I don't know. I'm new to these streets. I'm only a couple months in, or 6 weeks in, So I just
Well, I
really,
just want to
really am.
thank. No, go ahead. I
Yeah.
thought you were done.
No, I was just going to say, I'm just really grateful to be here having these conversations with all these wonderful people. And I'm glad that it filters over into the minds of all our friends and loved ones that, may still think differently, on some sense.
Well, I just want to thank Dark Chameleon, London Man, Sir Drop, Ubex, and Kimbot for coming up before one of my headphones is gonna die. But this is a powerful build today. Maybe I'll go live later after I gotta let everything charge up. But I appreciate everyone in the chat, man, everybody. So many people came through, and I appreciate everybody.
Yeah, much love to the chat too. I must say so. I've been reading the comments. I don't know if you want to do this, but sometimes I like to read off and have a chat participation to the panel. I try to do that sometimes. I mean, I ain't telling you what to do, but I think it'll help more people come.
Yeah,
It
it's a
helps people come to my chat. When I don't know. It seemed to work for me. Maybe you can steal that and use it. You know what I mean? Like read people's statements and comments and shit. But
I was thinking that earlier, believe it or not. Seriously, when I was putting people's comments up on the thing, I was thinking I need to interact more with the chat. So that's good you brought that up. And I will be doing that. You're right about that.
But I'm gonna fall back. I got plenty more to give. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna fall back because I got a phone call I gotta make. All right, you guys have a good
All right,
evening.
Dark Chameleon. Yeah, you too.
Bye.
Peace out, bro. I'm probably gonna close down myself for the fact that everything's dying. My headphones are about to go. They're beeping.
I think it's
Beep,
perfect
beep.
timing. It's perfect timing. Thanks so much for having
It
me,
is.
Charles. It's a real
Anytime,
treat.
Bex, you know that.
Thank you.
I appreciate you.
I appreciate
You're
you.
welcome.
Much love, and we'll talk soon.
Okay.
Okay.
Uh-oh. I hope it don't die. I want to shout people out. I want to shout out Marcel, of course, Bex, Dean, Kimba. Let's see if I can remember everyone. London Man, great build, man, great build. Sir Drop, great build. Of course, Bex was dropped some gems. Everyone. Sir Drop, great build, man. Dark Chameleon, great build. So many people. Hold on. I'm trying to go back. Uh-oh. Hopefully people could still hear me. One side died. Piece of So Ama, Olsen Yemi. I said Dean. Mark Basket. Don't let me go back. Uh-oh. Who else is here? I gotta remember. Joni. Uh-oh. If I don't say someone's name, it's not on purpose. I'm trying to go back more. There's so many people that came. Ah. Of course, Christos. I wish you would have said more, Christos. You gotta come back up, man. Drop some next time. I know you work and stuff, but man, we gotta get lucid up here too. But peace and salute to everybody, man. I appreciate everyone. Mark Basket, I almost forgot. There's just so many people, and it won't let me go back. But like I said, I appreciate everyone. Peace and salute, and until next time, I'm out of here.